silence is in quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. Mountains, and I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. Yeah, we will rise, we will rise.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, you know what I'm going to say. I don't have to say it. Please tap the screen so we can go ahead and get this pushed out to the For You page. Support is a verb. We need your help in pushing this out so we can continue to build the most inclusive platform here on TikTok. So please tap the screen so that we can push this out. Also, don't forget to share the live with 10 of your favorite people. But we need your help in tapping. Our taps have been kind of low the last couple days, going back to last week. So we do need your Mr. Benjamin. How are you, sir? Go ahead and tap the screen. Let's push this out to the For You page so we can get this conversation going. Natasha has instructed me not to start the live until we get 7.5K likes. So we need your help. That's the only way we can continue to build what we are building over here. And we want to, and we are doing, and we're committed. The team and myself, the people who help make the platform go in building the most inclusive space here on TikTok. So we need your help. I really do appreciate all the support that we have been getting. It's very touching. I'm humbled by it. 100%. The kind words that I get on the platform as well as in the DMs. I get about 10 to 15 DMs after each and every show, telling things that they like, telling things they don't like. And I appreciate those people who have reached out to me and given us some very good constructive criticism. Sean, my guy down in Florida, my brother from another. Sean is a good guy. Also, we found out some very interesting things about Sean in our After Dark special last Friday. Him and his beautiful wife, Miss Angie, came on, and man, Sean let Duke, my main man down in H-Town. Good morning. Sean came on, and I would have to say Sean and Miss Goldie were the life of the live. I guess that's a statement. And they laid the hair down. Miss Angie came in and told a couple stories. You know, they shared with us about a couple of weeks ago that they kissed on a New Year's Eve, and the kiss lasted 5.5 hours, and they've been together ever since. She's a beautiful woman. Sean is very, very lucky to have been married to that woman, and she also is lucky to be married to Sean, that they found each other, and they've been together for 28 years. I think it's 3 children and 4 grandchildren. Just had a grandchild about a month or so ago. 9 pounds, 4 ounces. So God bless that child's mother that pushed that big boy out. So absolutely. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We need the help. We need you guys to tap so that we can push this out. Mr. Benjamin is in the house. Appreciate you, Mr. Benjamin, so much. Mr. Benjamin comes in. He gives some great perspective on things. And what I have going on behind me is Elijah G will be here on Thursday morning at 10. And we are going to virtually sit down. I'll be standing probably and sometimes sitting and have a conversation about, his life, his journey. Took an unexpected turn. He was convicted of 2nd-degree unaliving, and he's out now. He's been out. I think it's I want to say 57 days from 37 years being incarcerated. So he's going to come in, and give his little bit about his story. And it's an amazing story. I can't imagine Iowa Jay. No, I think it's not the Jayhawks. Are they the Jayhawks? I think no. Are they no? The Jayhawks are Kansas. What are Hawkeyes? Are they the Hawkeyes? Iowa Hawkeyes? They beat LSU last night. Is that what happened? I think. Okay, I didn't watch it, but I know my good friend down in Louisiana, Caroline. She told me that they were playing. So LSU got beat by Iowa. Is that what happened? Because I haven't checked the sports page. But anyway. Right, Hawkeyes. Right, exactly. Jayhawks are the Kansas Jayhawks. So LSU was beaten by Iowa? Is that what happened? Anyway, but yeah, Duke got me thrown off with that game. But yes, okay, thank you, Sean. Thank you for the sport update. Wow, was it a close game? I need to just put my Google it or Siri it or whatever. Are we talking about Caitlin was lights out? Caitlin and Angel they've been having a bit of a rivalry. But anyway, yeah, so Mr. G will be here on Thursday morning, and we'll have a conversation with him about his life. 37 years incarcerated. He's going to come in and talk about the prison reform bills that he is championing. He's going to give his perspective about the letter writing campaign that happened while he was inside during the Obama administration. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. During the Obama administration, how it did not get signed, but it did get signed under President Trump. So he has a definite perspective, and we're going to talk to him and go from soup to nuts. From the age of 17, what was it like the first day? 17 years old. I can't even imagine. My son can't even go into the garage sometimes and find a hammer or something, but I can't imagine at 18 or 17, those doors closing behind you, and now you got to grow up real fast. So we're going to have a conversation with him. I really do appreciate that brother. He seems to be getting adjusted really good with his family, and we're going to have a conversation with him. So I ask you guys to tune in on Thursday morning, 10 a.m. He'll be here, and we are going to get into it. Also, I want to, our YouTube channel. It's the same name, Mr.Denali XXL, over on YouTube, where you can see clips, you can see full episodes. They're starting to we're starting to put those episodes up on YouTube, so you can make your way over there, become a subscriber of YouTube, put the notification on so that you know when we upload new clips and episode. If you miss an episode, you can definitely catch it over there. It's definitely a delay as far as us trying to get those episodes up, but don't worry, they will be coming up. So yeah, the things that we're doing over here will be transferred over to YouTube, so that we can continue to grow that platform as well. And I definitely want to thank everybody who has helped the platform grow. All right, guys, we at 1.2. We need to get up to set. Natashay has instructed me not to start until we get to 7.5. So let's get that up, and we can start to have this conversation. I want to continue the conversation from yesterday about domestic violence. It has hit a friend of mine, and for the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of dealing with that, trying to navigate along with feeling helpless, because not a lot that I can do, and I am definitely a man of action. And I came up with some thoughts on it. I think that men have to take the lead, meaning that we need to call out when we see it or hear it, or we have friends who, think it's funny or think it's, hey, that's the way that you need to handle a woman. I think some of us know the guys who are problematic in this space, and we need to call them out. because in my opinion, they are cowards. COWARDS, cowards. And they need to be called out. They need to be shamed for what they're doing. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on with this DV. You do not own your woman, or your woman doesn't own you. You're two individuals deciding to come together to create a life, or maybe just to have some fun, whatever it may be. But words should not bring about violence. No word should make you go ahead and feel like you have to strike someone. Love is not supposed to hurt physically. Now, yes, Sandra, my good friend out in California, how are you, dear? How are you, dear? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for being a friend to Mr. Denali XXL. Yes, it does go both ways. But the reason I'm focusing on the men, Miss Sandra, is because men can do so much more damage in a very short amount of time because, according to biology and real life experience, men are so much stronger physically than women. Okay? And if you're having a problem and you call the police are minutes away when seconds count. So I'm calling on the men that we have to take the lead to stamp this out, to stop this. Stop it in its tracks. Shame people that we know or we hear are, thinking it's funny to strike their woman. Sometimes you gotta get a little rough with them. No, that's a no-go, sir. Not over here. Get a little rough. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, rough? And we need to normalize to young women, young children, teenage, that love is not supposed to hurt. It's not supposed to hurt. It's not that, oh, I like it when he's possessive and I like it when he is a little rough with me, slapping, choking, striking. That is just not okay. Love is not supposed to hurt. And those men that do it are cowards. And I found it really interesting yesterday on this live. We got up to about 122 people that the guys that have problems with me didn't come on and say anything. I talked about this subject for about 2 hours yesterday, from 10 to about 12. And no men, aside from Birdie Dog, Straightforward, Deadpool, who else is up here? Nobody else came up and said anything. All the guys who have challenges with the way that I speak on Fani Willis, they didn't come up here and say one word. I wonder why. Do they not agree that men need to take the lead on this subject and try to stamp it out? Albert came up as well. But where were these other guys who got so much problems with me? Where are they at? Where were they yesterday on this conversation? Their voices was needed, and they were nowhere to be found. Nowhere. But they have so much talk for me. You see it up on my channel when they come over here and they attempt to verbal joust with me. And I take on all comers. We're going to have a smoke show here probably next week. Once I get finished with the interview with Malaja G, we'll have a smoke show and we'll take on all comers who have a problem with Mr. Denali XXL. But I found it really telling that none of those guys on a Monday morning came up and lent their voice to this important topic. How you doing, Deadpool? Appreciate Deadpool up in New Jersey. He is a good friend to the show. They did not come up. Why? Why didn't they come up and support me in saying that men have to take the lead on stamping out domestic violence against women? Why? Why didn't they come up and lend their voice to this campaign that I am championing? They're so animated about sports. They're so animated about what I say about Fani Willis. And yes, I think Fani Willis should step down. And I will continue to say that she needs to step down because she is guilty of poor judgment. But this is not about Fani Willis today. This is about what we got right here in the background. Stop domestic violence. Yes, men have to take the lead to stop domestic violence. That means we call out other men that we know are engaged in this type of behavior. We need to call it out. I don't care who it is. They are cowards. Men who put their hands and strike women like men. They are cowards. Cowards. COWARDS, cowards. But I want to know where the men that had problems or they say they have challenges with me, the way I speak, my tone, all these kind of different things. Where were they? Why didn't they come up? They come up for everything else. You can't be saying that, brother. Why did they come up for this? And a very important issue. Where were their voices? Their loud voices. Where were they? All right, guys, we're at 1.4. We need to tap the screen. Tap the screen. We need to tap. We need to share the live. So let's go. Let's tap the screen. Lakeisha, how you doing? We need to tap the screen. Nada Shade, she told me not to bring anybody up until we get to 7.5. So we have to, we got to get there. We have to get there. Let's go. Let's tap the screen. We can do it. Power tapping for 25 seconds. We can definitely do it. Let's see if we can do it. Come on. We need Mr.Denali. The channel needs your help. Hunter Girl Ray, how you doing? Appreciate that, young sister. She is a moderator here, and she does a great job patrolling the comments, making sure the comments are good, and make sure everybody's doing what they need to do, being respectful with good, healthy debate. Let's tap the screen, though. We need to tap the screen. Let's go. If we get half the people to power tap, we can make it. So let's do it. I need your help to push this out to the For You page. But anyway, I want to know, hey, Precious down in Florida, how are you? How are you, Precious? Precious is a good friend down in Florida. She's a veteran, and I love her voice. Her voice is very much needed over here at Mr. Denali XXL, MCM001. How are you, brother? But yeah, where were the men that had problems with Mr. Denali? Why are they not coming up and talking about this? Why are they not supporting this? I'm calling them out. They come up here for everything else. Why are they not coming up here to champion this message? I wonder why. I wonder why. We had Straightforward. We had Deadpool. We had Albert. Birdie Dog. That was about it. That's all. That's all. That's it. Where was everybody else? I wonder if they agree with this, that men need to take the lead. Sean, how you doing, brother? What's going on? Why aren't they lending their voice to this? It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. You know, I'm in barbershops and guys are talking about sports. Yes, we miss you as well. But I understand you got to work because we got to pay the bills. We have to, afford our lifestyle that we've created. So I do understand about that because there are a lot of times that I got to go to the job that pays me, that helps pay my mortgage and takes care of my son and my big guy, Mr. Denali, behind me. But where were they? Where were they? I don't know. They were missing in action. Missing in action. But anyway, that's what I think. I think men need to take the lead on this because we can help to stamp this out, because we can do so much damage physically if we decide to make that fateful choice. They were silent, Precious. I told you the ones that came up. Which were Birdie Dog, Straightforward, Deadpool, and a brother named Albert. I don't know where anybody else was. You've heard them on the platform. They got smoke from Mr. Denali XXL. I'm not doing this right. I'm this, I'm that. I run over people. Where were they on this topic? Because this is a very important topic. Very important topic because there's a lot of damage that's been going on out here. Yeah, I'm calling them out. Where are they? The men that come up to this platform and have smoke for Mr.Denali XXL, where are they? Why didn't they lend their voice to this important topic? I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. Where were I saw them? Some of them I did see in the not the comments, but I see them join and then they get out and they come back. But they never once requested to come up. I was looking for the men because I thought I would have support, that they would be behind this. Sniper came up. He's a good friend. What do I want them to say? I want them to have as much smoke for this topic as they do for me when they come up. And you see the clips that I put up. They call me different names. They come up and tell me how to run my platform. They have all this stuff for me of how I can do things better. You don't let nobody talk. I'm not coming back here. All these different things that you got to say. That's what I want them to say, Sandra. I want them to be as passionate about getting rid of domestic violence as they are about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. As passionate they are about the Super Bowl. As passionate they are about baseball, boxing, UFC, anything. You take your pick. I hear it all the time. Where are their voices on an important topic like this? Stopping domestic, because all we got to do is take one potential victim at a time. That's it. Yeah, we're not, if everybody did their part, we could get rid of this thing. But if these men that do this heinous act, what is that? What did you say, Sandra? Let me put my glasses on. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry that that happened to you. Yes, society is violent. I agree. But love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is not. I'm going to continue to say that. And we need to tell that to our young girls that are growing up. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Love is not supposed to hurt physically. If a man strikes you, he does not love you. He secretly hates you. He's jealous of you. And it starts with a psychological thing. They try to separate you from your family. We had some sisters come up here yesterday and share their story. Miss Goldie shared a story. Miss Karen Land down in Louisiana, go Tigers, sorry that they lost, shared a story. We had Miss Sylvia share a story. And we know our good friend JP Strong, who was pew-pewed 6 times by her ex-husband. And now, unfortunately, she's in a wheelchair. But she has a very strong voice. I respect that woman so much. She is an amazing woman. Okay? She's still fighting the good fight. She's been on Jon Stewart, and she's a big advocate. She opened up a justice center here in Cobb County in Georgia to help women, help victims of domestic violence. I'll read the statistics again because I read them yesterday. And I'm on it today and yesterday. And I will continue to be on it. Give me a second. Let me pull it up because I don't have the statistics memorized. Not yet, anyway. It says here, this is for people who, wait, who is this from? Hang on a second. Let me make sure I get the, get out of here. I'll talk to you. All right, hang on. All right, so it says, excuse me, here it is. It's the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, NCADV. All right, how often does domestic violence occur in the U.S.? According to that organization, every year, nearly 10 million women and men become victims of domestic violence. Every minute, about 20 people are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. 10 million. 10 million too many, if you ask me. Listen up, everybody. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. This includes a range of behaviors, slapping. How many times we heard a guy say, sometimes I got to slap her around a little bit like that. Really? Shoving, pushing. How many times that happened? I had to give her a little push to get her attention. Shame on you, brother. You are a coward because you wouldn't push me. Okay? And in some cases, 1 in 7 women and 1 in 25 men have been injured by an intimate partner. Injured. I guess where they have to get medical treatment. Injured. Love is not supposed to hurt. We need to normalize that statement. Physically. Now listen, of course, when you're in an interpersonal relationship, you can't hurt one's feelings. You can, do something emotional. Verbal abuse is also in there. Because once you say something, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't unhear something. So that's why I try to be very careful with what I say. I try to say what I mean and mean what I say. So I don't have to go back and say I'm sorry later. Okay? So I am on this topic. I will stay on this topic. I'm trying to get a code for men or women who want to learn gun safe, I want to say that, pew, Second Amendment safety. Because I think with my friend, I advised her and I'm paying for her to go to a class to learn about pew safety, Second Amendment safety. And I felt that was a way for her to gain back her power because she felt powerless and she feels powerless right now. That's what she feels. So I said, well, listen, what have you thought about owning a Second Amendment? And she says, yeah, I thought about that. And I said, well, great. Because I was feeling helpless and I needed to do something because I am a man of action. And I said, well, I will pay for you to go ahead and get the course taken care of. And I also will contribute I will contribute a percentage of probably half, I guess, of a pew for you. I saw a nice pink one. She loves pink. And I will contribute to buying that for her. Because I think that will help her, give her some power. Just in case something happens, but she needs to make sure she understands the safety of it and how to safely use it. So that's what I'm doing. That's the power that I'm trying to put out here. I'm trying to give people power, especially our young ladies, because love is not supposed to hurt. We need to normalize that. We need to speak that in, just like we speak into education, just like we speak into best practices for everything we do. We need to put that into their brains because it's a psychological thing. These guys, they groom these women. They separate them from their families. They separate them from their friends. And then they're stuck on the island. They're stuck on the island and they feel embarrassed and they feel like there's no one here to help me. And they just kind of deal with it. And I'm not even pretending to say that it's easy because I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. The closest I have probably come 2 years ago in 2022, I had an injury to my foot and I had to be on crutches. And when I would get out of the car, I was getting out the car, hobbling out, and then I had to get my crutches. I felt very vulnerable at that point. I had never had that feeling ever before that I couldn't handle something that came my way. And here I am on crutches. I was like, wow. I think I always talk to guys that women have to think about things that guys don't have to think about. And we need to be more empathetic. We do not need to dismiss a woman's experience in those type of things because it's not our own. We have to be more empathetic. And we, men, as we say we are the leaders of our communities, we need to take the lead on this. And that's what I think. That's what I think. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm putting my voice behind. That's what I'm putting my money behind in that. I'm trying to get a code with a local pew training course so that if someone is in the audience and they're having a problem and they want to take that course, they have the ability to do it. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully other men on this platform will join me in this. As you can see the numbers right there for anybody who is going through something like this. Hopefully you're not, but if you are, there's the number. You can call that number up and get some help. And you got to take the first step. I know that it can be scary, as we heard yesterday from Goldie and Miss Karen Land. We also heard from Sylvia, and we have heard from JP. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to stay on it because I think men who do this are cowards. I will say it. Hopefully, other men on this platform will also join me. Join me in that. I really do. I hope that they join me in on that, and we can change this together. I feel we can change it together. So that's what I say. That's what I'm doing. So, what say you out there? Am I hitting the right note? Am I hitting the right note out there? Thank you so much, Precious, for sharing live. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate people who have been in my inbox and said thank you so much for speaking out on this very, very difficult subject. Thank you so much. But we got to take the lead as men. As we say we're leaders of the community, we have to take the lead so that we can curb this and not normalize hitting. We have to normalize keeping our hands to ourselves. It's not good to strike a person that you say you love. What kind of sense does that make? Why are you striking? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, in my opinion. So we need to, like I said, normalize this. That love doesn't hurt. We need to normalize it with our young girls, so they understand that when it hurts physically, that's not a good thing. So that's what I think we need to do. We need to normalize it, and I'm sure a lot of the audience agrees with that. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about police reform as well. We're still on that. Police reform. That's a very, very important thing that we're doing. We're going to have Malijah G here on this Thursday. We're going to talk to him about the 37 years that he spent incarcerated, a little bit of how he grew up. We're going to go from the whole thing. Did he have a pay lawyer? Did he have a public defender? All those kind of things like that. So we're really, really going to get into it. But I need you guys' help to continue to tap the screen. Also, gift the panel. Also, don't forget about subscribers. You can get subscribed for as little as $2.69. That's important as well because we need support here on the platform to help keep the platform going. So I appreciate people who have supported and who will continue to support as we continue to grow and build the most inclusive space here on TikTok. So I want to thank everybody who has supported the live 100%. Now, we also got some news with Trump. Trump lost a lot of money. That's Truth Social. I was really listening that it lost a lot of money on that because they lost money last year and things like that. So that's also something that we can go ahead and discuss as well as we get really deep into the 2024 election season. Biden, Trump, we're coming up into the summer. We're in spring. And we're going to have the conventions and all those kind of things like that. So those conversations are still going to be had on the platform. We're also still talking about Fani Willis. I think that she should step down. I know a lot of my MAGA friends think that she should stay. I think that she cannot bring justice properly to Donald J. Trump and justice for the great people here of Georgia, where I am a resident. So we need to continue to share the live. MAGA loves fun. Okay, I see you, Precious. I got you. I got you. I got you. I've been called some people were calling me an undercover MAGA. That's which I thought was pretty funny. That they say I'm an undercover MAGA. Not sure where that came from, but okay, whatever. Whatever works. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about. Those different things like that. Let's see. Here we go. Alrighty. Precious, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
Morning. Good to see you.
You too.
Good. What's going on down in the great state of Florida?
Oh, just living our freedom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know we are all fighting a good fight, right? For freedom. We all want to be free.
Absolutely.
Right? Gotta do
Well, and
nothing
that's
but live free or be unalived, right?
pretty much.
Right.
Well, I popped up because
Mhm.
I think you're
Mhm.
MAGA also. I think that and that's okay. It's whatever.
I would
But
admit it.
no.
I wouldn't shy away from it if I was.
Well, like
I'm not scared of
okay,
criticism.
let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
So, you know what a big fan I am of you, right?
I thank you. I appreciate it. I'm humbled by that. Thank you.
Okay, so do I ever, like when you're trying to make your points, am I ever like pushing back at you saying, well, no, you're wrong, you're wrong? Do I ever say that?
Not that I can remember, no.
Exactly, because we literally think the same way, and it just
Okay.
blows me away. It
All
blows
right.
my mind,
Okay.
and I don't understand the disconnect.
Yeah, I can't vote for Trump though. I just can't do it.
Why? Why? I actually never asked you that.
Well, I think. Well, listen. I think Trump is problematic, and I really don't want him to represent the country that I love.
Okay, and I can say the same about Biden. That's a pretty
Absolutely.
bold, that's a
Well, that's why
blanket
we're over here
statement.
together. I say all the time that I'm not voting for Biden. I'm voting against Trump.
And that's how we felt in 2016. We weren't
We
voting for
vote
him, we were voting against Hillary.
sure, 100%. I just think that, in my opinion, I think Trump is problematic. I think that
It's
he.
yeah, but all those problems you think are problems are made up problems, and they're all coming to a head right now.
What do you mean?
Like you're talking about all these court cases and everything they have against them.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, the Eugene Carroll's getting ready. She just came out and basically said she lied. He, she's not getting any money, and the lawyers said she's going to sue her for her lawyer fees. This thing with Fonnie Willis and Letitia James, you'll see that's getting
Well,
ready
what
to
was Trump
crash and
asking
burn as
Ratzenberger
well.
to
So
do? Sean, what was Trump asking Ratzenberger to do?
To find the votes.
there's nothing wrong with
He
that. There's
told him that
nothing
I
wrong
did
with that.
all. He
There's
told him
nothing
I
wrong with that. That's
They
illegal.
told.
He's
Come
allowed to
on,
do that,
He's
Sean.
allowed to
though.
do
As
that.
a as an almost 50-year-old man.
He's allowed to do that.
Okay.
He
I
is.
don't
He's
care.
legally allowed. You'll see what. Hey, watch when all these court cases go through.
Uh huh.
Everybody's gonna eat shit. I'm telling you. He's
Do
not
you
gonna lose
think?
any money.
Do
If
you
anything,
think?
he's gonna gain money because he's gonna sue everybody else. Watch.
Well, do you think that he is bought and sold by the Russians?
No, not at all.
No, not at
Hell
all.
no. That's made up shit too.
Huh? Okay.
Do
What? Why?
you?
I mean, okay,
But
hang
do
on. So
you?
let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys fans of Vladimir?
I'm not like a fan. I don't even. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
do you think he's good for our country?
Not ours.
I
Because
don't.
that's like, no, they don't have the same constitution we
I
do.
don't
So
know
no.
what
No,
he's
no, I'm
good
saying, do
for.
you think Vladimir Putin is a friend to the United States?
I don't know. I know that if you want me to tell you this, if you're going off of what when Trump said he's a smart man and all this, if you
No,
go
I'm
back
not.
and
I'm not. I'm
okay,
asking, as we know Vladimir Putin, because we don't live in Russia, but the
I,
information we know, do we think that Vladimir Putin is a friend to the United States of America?
I really don't know, and
Yes.
I can't
He's
go
a
off of
friend,
information.
Precious?
Yeah. Not a friend. I think
Is
he
he an
left us alone.
ally?
He
Is he an
left us
ally?
alone,
I
though.
think
All
he
he
could
wanted to,
be.
he left us alone.
I'm saying, do you trust Vladimir Putin?
The laws that he's putting for his own people, kind of, sorta. Yeah, they love him.
You trust him? Okay, listen, I don't.
And that's
Yeah,
okay.
but
But the
the
only reason why
media
I'm
lies
saying it,
to
like,
us. That's
but
the
the only I'm
thing.
saying, like, he's implementing stuff like, if any of the companies in Russia are injecting their food with anything, you mandatory are considered a terrorist in his country, and you have to go to jail, and you have a $300,000 fine.
Hang on one
You know,
second.
or
Hang on one second, Brett. I block Sims. Would you like to come up, sir? I block Sims. Would you like to come up into the platform? Let's see if he wants to come up. Put yes in there if you want to come up. All right, hang on one second. Let me get I block Sims up here. Let's see. Let's give him an invite. Let's give him an invite. See if he comes up. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Just want to hash this out. What's up, brother?
Good morning to you,
Good,
sir.
good to see you, man. Good
Hey,
to
let
see
me
you.
start out by saying, hey, I deeply apologize for my actions the other day. It
Thank
was
you.
totally out of my character, and I'm very passionate about
I know you
what's
are.
going on with fathers in this country, and
I know you are, brother.
got
But
beside myself. And I
what
apologize.
happened was that you were doing so good. You were doing great, and I know you're passionate about it. But over here we do not do personal insults. We don't. We try really hard not to be disrespectful. And I think what you did was completely disrespectful yesterday to Mia, who is a friend, who is a moderator on this platform. She helps this platform go. She does things behind the scenes. She produces segments. And that kind of behavior I just can't allow, and I cannot allow it, especially to a moderator or anybody who rocks, or anybody who's invited up as a guest. I can't allow it, and I appreciate you coming up and apologizing. I'll relay that apology to Mia if she's not in the comments. I haven't seen her yet this morning, but you were doing so well, and then nobody remembered everything you said. They remembered what you left out on. So I know we're passionate, but we as men, as I got behind the thing here, we have to be better. If we're gonna say that we're the leaders, then we gotta act accordingly. We cannot let emotions drive our decisions. Because I think if
This
we
country,
are the head of our households as we claim to be, then we need to make sure we're acting as such. And we are an example.
this
We
country is
are.
lost, bro.
Say
This
again?
this country is lost.
Well, listen, I believe in this country. And I believe that, yes, do we get knocked down? Yes. Do we go wayward sometimes? Yes. But this country is so great that we can go ahead and fix it. When we can do what we can do in our community, and it acts like a pebble, when you throw a pebble into a lake or a stream of water and it ripples, we have to do what we can do where we are. There's no silver bullet.
The
And
thing
it's
is,
not going to take. Go
the
ahead.
more we entertain foolishness, man, you got to have people in authority that are going to move and get the job and get the mission done. And
Okay.
you're always going to have people
Hmm.
that are pouring more sand into your concrete than what, and it's, you just got to push people to the side who are not fostering the mission.
Well,
And then
that's
you
why
got
we live in a free country, right? Because people are
yeah,
free to
and
be
it's going to get to where
problematic.
freedom has a price too.
It
Just
does.
like just like salvation has a price. We made that did had to pay it, but somebody paid it for us. Somebody's always going to have to pay the price. And so the thing is, but the ones who receive the free gift, they the ones, act like they don't appreciate it by just regurgitating pointless rhetoric and not really trying to get to the nitty gritty of solutions. And
Okay.
I really can't stand it. Just for people to exist and breathe as human beings and not be solution oriented, acting like they can't see where humanity needs to move in order to be better. It's just crazy. It's like they thrive in chaos.
Well, that's fine, but that's always been the case. Some people are doing good work. Some people are doing foolishness. If you know, do you know the group Public Enemy?
Of course, yes.
Flavor Flav was a fool, but he was much needed because he brought the fools, and hopefully the fools heard something Chuck D was spitting. So you can't discount the fools because a broken clock is right twice a day. We can't throw them away because we got to live amongst them. But maybe something, if we continue to talk, will seep in, and they'll have a light bulb moment. Does that make sense?
No, Bible tells us to do away with fools.
All right, bro. Listen, I'm not a very religious guy. I'm a common sense based guy. Uh, more wars have been fought in the name of religion than anything else, sir. So that's my thing. You know what I mean? When religion gets into it, people get cloudy, people get a little wacky, in my opinion. But if we just have common sense and we treat people with respect, then we can move forward. Whatever religion you are, there's so many religions.
Yeah, I'm not
This
religious at all.
Well, okay, fine. I mean, do you adhere to the Bible teachings? Because you brought up the Bible.
I believe in the Bible, yes.
Okay, all right, that's fine. But what if a person believes in the Quran or the Torah?
They have a right to.
I I understand that, but I'm just saying we just need to be more inclusive. And would you agree that more because of religious or religious books, wars have been fought?
Say that again. You say more wars have been fought over religious
Sure.
books.
No, am I wrong about that?
I hadn't investigated.
I don't want to go down that road. That I don't. That's something I don't even want to touch. But anyway, but I appreciate you coming up, and I definitely will relay the message to Mia because I just thought it was uncalled for. But you're a stand-up guy because you came up and apologized. Like I say, if I make a mistake, I will say I am sorry, and I will attempt to do better the next time. And that's all we can do because we are imperfect people. We are flawed and we all make mistakes. And the world needs more grace, in my opinion. So thank you for that. Do you have any comment on the topic?
uh, sure. Just we only have a certain amount of time allotted to us, and we can waste breath, energy, resources conversing with people. I mean, we just got to move on sometimes. But anyway, on the topic with Trump, he absolutely has the right to say,
So
"Hey,
we're talking about domestic violence, sir. That's what we're talking about.
oh, okay, I was
The banner is scrolling in the back. Do you agree with my war that men need to take the lead in stamping out domestic violence, violence against women?
um yes, I think men have to take the lead in a country where it's free, where everybody's supposed to be equal, where there's basically no difference between the genders, not supposed to because that's against the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment. 40% of all domestic violence victims are men, and so
My,
not.
my spidey sense is tingling right now, my block simps. The reason, let me explain, maybe you can agree or disagree. The reason I say that men have to take the lead is because men are so much stronger physically than women. And if something goes down, a woman needs help. She can call the police, sure, but the police are minutes away when seconds count. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Do you believe that men are physically stronger than women?
yes,
Can they do more damage to a woman in a short amount of time than a woman can do to a man?
yes.
All right. So that's why I'm dealing with the men. I got it that, women also do hit and slap and throw remotes. I've had a remote thrown at my
Well, let,
head.
let me, let me run this by you.
Sure.
Out in California, there is a woman who has been charged and convicted, but only given probation after stabbing her boyfriend 109 times.
Right. And horrible.
That's right, unaliving him.
Horrible. What's your point?
The point is that, yeah, in order for men to actually take the lead,
Yeah.
there's gonna have to be some control. And
Well,
if you
if you
don't have,
find yourself in a
I
situation
agree with that.
give me a second. If you find yourself with a problematic female, what should you do? Stay there or should you leave?
she's getting out.
Okay. There you go. Problem somewhat solved. I mean, what you want me to say? You bring it up. What I do not like is for people to bring up the minimum to maximize it and then minimize the maximum.
No,
Hey, but what if you're married and you know tempers flare and shit happens where you know what I'm saying? It's not like
Are
you
you
just
the are you the
it's
leader of your
different.
house, Sean?
No, I understand. That's not what I'm saying. What you said
Oh,
was you just get rid of her. But if you're married, you can't. You're not just gonna get rid of her.
well, then we need to do. Okay, so what? You stay and then you reach your breaking point. Is that what?
No,
What
you
No,
have
happened?
yeah.
her
No, what
arrested.
you
You
do
have
is
her
you
Tell
got
me,
to
arrested.
tell
get.
me what the. If you're married, how many years are you married,
Hmm.
Sean? Let's go down your scenario with you. How many years are you married?
You want to do my scenario? You want to do mine? You can do
No, not
mine.
yours
28
personally.
years I've been
No, hang
married.
on, stop. I'm talking about you. Are you speaking from a personal experience, or are you just giving hypothetical?
No, what I'm saying is that it happens both ways. I'm not
I know it
excusing
does.
anything. I'm just saying, like, if my wife throws a controller at me and hits me in the head, I'm not gonna get rid of her.
No,
Oh yeah, I am.
Sean,
She's getting out
Sean.
of my house the same minute. Yeah.
We all got critical thinking, Sean. That's not my point. I think my point is that if you find yourself in a problematic, continually problematic
Oh,
situation
all right. I
with a
got you.
woman, not the one. Now, listen, if she tries to unalive you, yeah, you might want to get out of there as soon as possible.
Oh, that's different.
But
Hell
these
yeah.
things do these things do start small and then they escalate. Okay, and you need to head it off at the pass as soon as you see those red flags. We need some help. We need to get some professional. Something needs to happen because it'll just fester. Or if you sweep it under the rug, you're gonna have a lumpy rug.
I
So
would
Yeah,
like to
yeah, definitely.
that here. I'm gonna give you some strong advice to men if we're gonna take the lead. You if you
wait,
got,
hang on a second. Do you want to take the lead?
I'm gonna take the lead regardless.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. I'm listening very cautiously. Go ahead.
So the thing, I'm gonna give some advice
We're
to.
men. We're supposed to take the lead.
Yeah, it's no supposed to. It's gonna. That's just the way it's gonna be with me. I'm gonna be the lead regardless. So the
Okay.
thing is, in this world of legalities in the U.S., it behooves a man to be very wise in how the judicial system works because this is what we're talking about, right? So you need to have surveillance, some type of surveillance in your home
All right.
when you're dealing, because the hope is that your whole house and family remains peaceful, but in the case that it doesn't, you
Yeah.
need evidence to prove yourself and your claim when
Yeah.
that policeman comes to your doorstep.
All right.
And there you go. It helped me. I have 8 cameras in my house, and it keeps down the drama. Okay.
Absolutely, because it's not your story, it's not her story, it's the story. And that's what cameras will help do. That's why police now use body cameras and things like that because cameras are everywhere and we don't have to rely on eyewitness. We don't have to rely on memory. We can look at the camera. So I agree with you 100%. Lakeisha, welcome. How are you? I've seen you in the comments the last couple days. Have you ever been up on the platform?
No, this is my first time on the platform. I'm from
Welcome.
North Carolina.
NC,
Thank
you're
you.
Tar Heel, Blue Devil, or Wolfpack?
Tar Heel, but we had three in the finals this year.
You had what, three? All three were in the finals?
All three of them were from the state of North Carolina. It's the first time we've had that happen.
Oh, okay, cool. Tar
And
Heel
NC
Power.
State's still in there.
Wow. I have not
They
been
still
keeping up
are.
with the sports as well as I should have over the last since I've been doing this platform. I'm trying to get my time together. But anyway, go ahead, Lakeisha. What say you?
Okay, I am a domestic violence survivor because I'm going to say I'm a survivor. For 8 years, I was in a marriage for with domestic violence, and
We're going
two,
to
we
use the
talk
word
about
DV.
men.
We want to use the word. We want to use DV as opposed to saying the whole thing.
DV.
Thank
Okay,
you.
a DV survivor. And we talk about men being in charge and taking the lead. And two of my worst experiences were at the hands of men. One that I can recall was when I went to the emergency room with two black eyes. And when the sheriff office came to me to talk with me, and we were discussing the situation and whether or not I wanted to press charges. And the male officer came to me and said, is that something you really want to do? Your husband is the primary breadwinner in the house. And if he goes to jail, then what are you going to do for money?
Okay. Oh,
So, that was very disappointing because obviously I'm sitting here with two black eyes. There was really the only thing that happened was at that time I was in school, I was taking care of the kids, I was helping with homework, and I was trying to get the dishes washed. And as I was letting the water run for the dishes, it ran over in the sink. And he felt that that was enough to slap me, punch me in the face.
so sorry to hear that. Is that the first time he actually struck you?
No.
Okay.
That was one of the times, like I said, that I felt like I would go to, I that it was a male involved, and I had actually taken the initiative to go to the authorities, and that was the feedback that I received.
Right. And you felt discouraged by that, I would imagine. Like you're like, what? What are you saying to me?
Absolutely. This was
What year
at
was
this
this?
time it had been 7 years.
7 years ago?
No, I'm saying at this time I had been married for 7 years at
No,
that
I'm saying
time.
what year did this happen? I was just trying to
This
get to
happened in 1997.
97. And I would agree that, and I'm sure most of the panel probably would agree that in those times, the attitudes were a lot different. I don't think many women went to jail for DV. And, I guess it was still kind of for lack of a good old boys network. And, men run the rules and they can do what they want, kind of, and women weren't always believed. Would you agree with that, Lakeisha?
I did agree with that. But just to add to that,
Mhm.
at that time, the man that I was married to, one of his best friends happened to be in law enforcement, and he was receiving counsel from that friend. So he knew exactly how far to push it, or he knew exactly how far to take it.
Right. Wow. Would you like to share what ultimately ended up happening?
I ultimately ended up leaving 7 days before Christmas in 1997, and I did not look back.
Wow. Wonderful. That's I'm sure that took a lot of strength because like I'm sure when you hear that from an officer, what are you gonna do? I'm not sure what the family dynamics was as far as finances, but I'm sure that was very, very a very scary time for you.
It was a very scary time. And we talk about conditioning of men and how these men condition women, and it's a manipulative behavior. It's very subtle in the very beginning, and it tends to escalate over time.
Right. Was he classically trying to separate you from your family and friends and put you on the island?
I had no friends. I had very limited family. If family came to visit me, he was to the point where he would actually put everything in a certain spot so that if someone came in the house, he would know someone had been in the house.
Okay.
May I ask what attracted you to your husband in the beginning?
I was young. He was my very first boyfriend. We started dating
How
when I
young were
was
you? Just
14.
curious, how young were you?
I was 14 and he was 17. So we were in high school.
Wow. Okay. How high school sweethearts?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead. Did you have another question
High
for?
school?
Go ahead, Precious.
I was just going to say, was he hitting you in high school?
He never he never hit me in high school. There were some behaviors, I was young, I did not pick up on them, but there were some behaviors that were should have been a I should have recognized, but like I said, by me being so young, I did not pick up on them in the very beginning.
No, no,
Right.
no, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just asking.
Yeah. No, no, no. I said this. I think that we have to normalize with our young women, young girls, that love is not supposed to hurt physically. It's just not supposed to hurt physically. It's not, I've heard it in myself. I'm 50 years old that, I like a man who can handle me. I like a man who is possessive of me. You know what I mean? He loves me to death. Whoa, that's a heavy statement. I can't live without you. That's another heavy statement. And unfortunately, those we need to unnormalize those behaviors, and that people should, especially women, should run away when they hear those certain phrases because you know it's in my opinion, I think it's telling. We got to listen to words because words do have meaning. So that's my opinion. But I just think men should take the lead, especially now in 2024, And when we hear it from people in the barbershop or at clubs or whatever, friends, family members, we need to make sure they understand that that's not okay. That's my opinion. Men know other men, and they can definitely help to get rid of this horrible cycle that seems to be going on.
But there's also a
Well, I think
mentality. There's also a mentality of, people don't want to get in other people's business. People say like, well, that's their marriage. Well, that's their relationship.
That's true, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
it's kind
agree.
of like,
100%.
and
But
and so
something's got to change. It needs to be a shock to our conscience. And just like what is it? When we after 9/11 see something, say something. Wasn't that a big campaign? You see a backpack that somebody left alone or suspicious behavior, see something, say something. I don't know. Maybe that's something that can happen. I just
Well,
think,
I think people do that, but when they realize, what they have, the what you have to go through the law, people get discouraged because the law takes so long. I mean, I have my own story too. My guy, he went to federal prison for 10 years,
oh
and
wow,
you will not believe what I had to go through. And part of the biggest thing that I think triggered it, because I'm with Lakeisha, it comes in small. They manipulate you very slowly. But where the red flags should come in for a woman is, when you do push back at this guy, when you do question him with, why are you doing that? Pay attention to their reaction.
right.
They don't like the pushback. And when you do the pushback with, well, why can't I see my mom? Why can't my mom come here today?
Mhm.
Pay attention to how they react, because that is your red flag.
100%. Thank you, Precious, for sharing that.
the
Um,
question,
uh, wait,
Lakeisha.
what'd you say, sir?
I had a small question for Lakeisha. Well, the in 1997 was that the when you left, was that the completion of 7 years? Years total.
Yeah, that was the completion of the 7 years. At that time, I had just had enough, and I had two small kids, and I had come to the realization either he was going to unalive me, or I could not see myself having someone else raise my children. So at that point, I decided it was time to do something.
So I would just say 14 years old. So you're 21 when y'all split up.
No, I
Yes,
don't. Oh, you were married, Lakeisha?
I married him in 1989.
And how old were you when you married him?
18.
18. And you were married for 7 years, which puts you at 26 years old, or
Yes,
24 years old that you left. Okay. All right. So I
So
blocked
that's
you.
what I was trying to clarify. Like, so is you were actually together more than 7 years.
She said they
yes,
were married. You were married for 7 years. Is that correct?
that's correct.
But the
Okay.
total of the relationship stemmed from ages 14. So you add 4 years onto that. So about 11 years total. Would that be correct?
That's correct.
What?
Okay.
Do you have a point there, Bob Black Sims?
Yeah, I just trying to see how long was she actually with him? Like,
Okay. I
try,
mean, 14 and 17. I don't know how much you're with somebody, but maybe not. I don't know. Did you have a? Okay, now that you got that, was it something else?
no, I just want to just it helps me understand where she's coming from a little more. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Lakeisha. Thank you, Precious, for sharing. Mr. Well, Sean, you wanted to have a little scenario. Do you still have that scenario? I'm sorry, because we kind of got railroaded for a second off you.
No, I'm good.
Good. Okay, great. I
I'm just
want
listening.
I want to make sure Sean is taken care of. Sean is my brother from another down in Leesburg, Florida. So, Mr. Benjamin, my good friend, how are you, sir?
Hey, Captain.
Good to see you.
Oh, good as well. I like to extend to my sister. Man, that was very powerful. I have a story of my own, but I won't even go into it. I'll make it very short.
Hmm.
My father was a man of men.
Okay.
Left school at 6 years old. We're from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Okay. Right
Old
up the
school,
road.
old school. Seat rights. That's her name.
Okay.
Old school did things different, man. They required their women, man, to take care of their home, iron their clothes. My pop basically made my mom into a housewife, and he worked like he was taught.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came errors in time, just bottom line, my pop was violent, but only on the weekends.
Mm.
Feel me? Friday, Saturday, different guy.
Right.
Sunday, man barely spoke to anyone.
Hmm.
But his only problem was with the person that cooked, cleaned, sent us to school, washed his clothes, paid the bills because he couldn't write nothing.
Mm.
Like even helped him with his own check, but his thing was horses. He loved horses.
Really?
But when he left the horse stable where I was raised at, like it was real heavy on mine, real physical beatings, bro, to the point where I was a kid and I grew up at 11 years old, feeling my pop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this to say this. I heard all the men on the line. I'm looking at what you said. Men have to take the lead to stop domestic violence.
Right.
Men have to take the lead to stop themselves.
Sure. It's all encompassing.
Um, Everybody said they want to take the lead. I heard I'm going to be the lead. I'm going to take the lead. But we don't hear them taking responsibility. It's always somebody else's fault when things happen.
Mm.
I believe if you taking the lead,
Yes,
you
sir.
taking the responsibility for where we going.
Right.
So when we crash, when we
Mm-hmm.
have problems, when she has questions, you as the leader have created them.
100%.
So when you're questioned, like she said, or when something happens, it seems like to me that all the men want to take the responsibility for being leaders, but all of the men don't find it so easily to take accountability with everything that comes with it.
I don't think you can speak for all men.
Thank you for saying that, sir.
Let me get some pushback to that. The thing is, I said in the
Hold on one
beginning,
second.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. I blocked him. Benjamin, did you land, sir? I don't know if you land. Did you?
I would, I heard the noise in the background, but like I said, if we're going to take the position from the beginning of time up until now as being the heads, the leaders, the men, the man, and then when things start happening all around us, especially in our homes and in our relationships, we now want 50-50 understanding. No, you didn't give up 50-50 when you said, I'm the head of the household, I'm running things, I'm the man. So if you are him, then take 100% of the responsibility.
All right. I blocked him.
I'll land right there.
yes, I'm going to give some pushback to that because, um, like I said before, in order for you to lead requires control, and we can't properly and fully take lead because this hierarchy doesn't provide for us to have ultimate control. And so we can't, we can say, no, I can exercise control because I don't have any legalities preventing me from control over my own person and property.
Okay, Mr.
So
Block.
I keep, hold on a minute. I keep myself like that for a purpose because I will maintain control of what I'm providing. And the minute you relinquish that, you give up your leadership and your power as a man and your influence to control certain situations because you relinquish it and give it away to somebody else through legalities. And so, there's no way men collectively in this country could actually take control to stop something when they don't have any control. It's just not possible.
Wait a second. You go to the barber shop, you hear somebody talking about how they had to rough up their girl. What are you doing?
Had to have to rough up their guard.
Yeah. Hey, I had to get her attention, so I had to shake her up. What are you doing immediately after you hearing that?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna encourage him. That if you're doing that, man, you're gonna be in danger of going to jail. You need
Are
to.
you are you a, are you a basketball fan, football fan? What are you? Who's your team?
Yeah, I like sports. Yes,
Who's your team in basketball? What's your favorite sport?
golf,
Golf's your favorite sport. Who's your favorite golfer?
woods.
Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods ain't shit. You hear that in the barbershop. What you doing?
Okay, that's his opinion.
You're not gonna have a debate with him?
I'll probably ask him why does he feel that way.
Right. It was immediate, right?
Hmm.
When I said I had to get her attention, you hesitated for at least 3-4 seconds. Why?
Because in this country, I'm careful about getting into other people's business. And
You're in the
if
barbershop. You know how the
hold on a minute.
barbershop works, I block Sims. Come
Hold
on,
on.
bro.
Hold on. I'm careful about getting into other people's business.
It's first of
Hold
all,
on a minute.
it's not. No, let me finish. It's not that happening in the moment. He's saying with because if he feels comfortable to say it in front of a group of people, he's emboldened.
Okay.
All right, you hesitated, but when I said Tiger Woods, I would ask him why do you feel that way? Immediately, there was no hesitation. And that's what I'm talking about. We talk about this BS in the barbershop and in lounges about who's the greatest, Michael or LeBron. This is a serious issue right here.
And
And
why
I've
was
men,
you
never, I've
concerned
never,
for
I've
him?
never been encountered with anything like that with
you
somebody.
have you don't so you don't know any friends or have any friends who have talked about that they had to maybe shake their girl up a time or two.
Not one.
Okay, well then I'll take you at your word.
I have
I've
a,
heard it,
I have a
and I've
question.
told. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Why was your concern for him and not for her?
You talking to me?
No, the gentleman, Mr. Block. Why was
Oh,
your
okay.
concern for him and not for her?
Be-
I heard you say, I will tell him, yo, man, don't do that. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to go to jail. But I didn't hear you say one word about concern for her.
Wow, that's
What
powerful.
the thing is, I have no control, bro. I
No,
have no
I'm not.
control.
Listen, do you think I think that you have control? I know you don't have any control, but you have a voice. You
He
can
used it for
offer. You
him.
can offer best practices. You
And
can
I'm
He used it
very.
for
offer, bro.
him.
You don't want to do that,
Let
man.
me tell
Like
you why I'm careful. Let me tell you why I'm careful. There was a domestic violence situation that was going on outside of Walmart in Atlanta. Okay, the guy was beating up his girlfriend right outside the store in the parking lot. A young man with his wife and child
I heard
said, "You
about
know
the
what?
story. I know the story.
He's gonna." He said he's gonna go intervene. What
I know
happened?
the
Can you
story.
go
What you're
share
about to
what
say,
happened?
and he got unalive. I got you.
Right.
That's Mr. Block. But
So
you
that's why I'm
said,
careful
these are
about
your
getting into
words.
other people's
Your
business.
words
If
are,
the infraction, if the violence is going on right there before me,
I'm trying to point
I
something
have
to
a
you.
license. Hold on a minute. I have a license to carry. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
All right, wait a minute. I want to point something to you. When asked, you said, I would say to him, yo, you're going to get yourself locked up. You're going to go to jail. But after that, you didn't make any inference about concern for the woman. You never said, man, are you all
Because
right?
what can
Wait a
I
minute,
do?
wait
She
a
has to
minute.
take the initiative to get out of
Wait a
that
minute,
situation.
wait
I
a
don't even
minute.
know who this person is.
Whoa!
Initiative does not have to happen for you to have concern. You
Okay,
never showed,
I'll still answer it the same way I answered it.
yeah, but you never show concern for her.
Okay, I didn't. Now what?
Okay,
Well,
so I just wanted to point out to you that the title is Men Have to Take the Leadership to Stop Domestic Violence. And in that instance, what did you do to help stop it except show concern for the aggressor?
I'm not gonna do much of nothing if it's not happening before me. If he's talking about a story that's past tense, I'm basically probably just gonna get up and take my ass out the barbershop and go home.
There ain't
Well,
nothing he can do anyways. I mean, what's he gonna do? No, don't do that. No, you shouldn't do that to that girl. It ain't gonna make a difference.
no,
okay.
he can. He can the same way he's gonna talk about his favorite team
Yeah.
and have those debates that we have. We can also talk about that
Yes,
shit.
but I get to
Yeah,
make
but I mean, do
decisions
you
for my
think they're gonna
discretion.
actually listen?
Yeah,
Well,
that's to my
we don't. First
discretion.
of all, I don't think you ever should stop talking because you never know when the light bulb moment's gonna go off.
Right. The thing is, that's to each one of our own discretions to whether we want to engage in the conversation or not.
Well, okay, I got a question for you. How do we stop or at least stem the tide of DV?
Uh,
Not you, Sean. I'm talking
I mean
about
that.
Mr. Block.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're basically asking me how do we decrease it?
Sure. What will be your? I stand or snap my finger, and you in charge.
Uh, I don't think because again it goes back to control. I don't have a magic wand
I
or
know you don't. I'm
don't let
asking
me.
you for
Oh
3 points.
gosh, man, you won't let me answer.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead and drive the plane. Go ahead.
Okay, so none of us, we have to be real. None of us have a magic wand to wave or a vaccine to get everybody to just stop them from being violent. So the expectation that people are just going to just stop being violent is asinine to think that, okay? So the thing is, I will put stronger measures in place, punishment measures for people who are found guilty of assault, because that's basically what it is. It's assault. And so that's how I would deal with it, which we have those things in place now. And I would just try to turn them up, make them tougher for regardless of gender.
Did you land or?
Yes, I'm done.
And what's the definition of insanity?
Keep
Mr.
doing the
Block?
same thing,
Doing the
expect a different
same thing
result.
over and over
Right.
again and
So
expect a different
the
result.
things are there. So when do we stop doing what we've been doing and then try something different?
Okay, I'm
I,
open to
I,
No, I gave a suggestion right there, and you talked about control. I'm not saying that that's the end all be all, but it starts a conversation. I do not think that we should ever stop talking to one another because you never know when a light bulb moment's going to go off in somebody's head. Because when
well,
you're not talking, you're not having any effect.
I get that.
Silence is an answer. Would you agree with that, Mr. Block?
Yes, and it's
When
an
someone
answer
is
to my
silent about
discretion.
something,
It's an
does
answer to my discretion. Each one of us has discretion.
okay, got it.
We
All right,
have the wherewithal, we have the discretion to look at a situation and determine just how effective we were going to be in a certain conversation in a certain setting.
all right,
And so that yeah,
can,
I'm gonna think about my family first because charity starts at home. Gonna think
right.
about if I was to interject myself into this situation, I have a wife and a child, just like the guy in Atlanta did.
I didn't say that you should go up and stop it. I said you're in a barbershop and you hear
Okay,
somebody talking
regardless,
about
the
it.
same thing can happen.
So, okay, got it. All right. So basically, we want to do nothing
you can do
except
like what
for
No,
you're
I didn't
increase
say
doing.
that.
the
I
If
said
you
it's to
can,
my discretion.
except for increase the punishment. But I think that that is a reaction. What can we do proactively so that women don't find themselves in these situations and guys don't feel they need to make decisions out of their emotions?
honestly, the best thing would be for the women to teach the women to not put up with that shit and leave.
You got daughters,
I mean,
Sean?
yes, I do.
What do you tell your daughters when they were growing up about relationships with men that they choose to, entertain, date, boyfriend, potential husband?
I was the example. So they saw me as the example of how they treated their mother. So they knew that's how they were supposed to be treated.
Okay, and I'm sure you put words behind it as well, not just what you're doing, but also
Yes, sir. Yeah, like I'll kill the man if he touches you and
Wow,
shit like that. Hell yeah.
unalive, Sean, unalive,
My
unalive,
bad, my bad.
unalive. There's no unalive bodies in your backyard, are there, Sean?
No, hey, my daughter barely dated anybody. Her second, or really her first boyfriend is her husband now. So,
Okay, fantastic.
and I basically told him, I brought him out in the backyard like the second time he ever came over the house. I
Yeah.
said, "Come out here and shoot this pew pew,"
Mm-hmm.
and I put some double up buck in it so it would kick real hard. And I said, "You feel that?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, imagine what the other end feels like." So,
Look at Sean.
and we were
There
good
you
from
have it.
there.
All right, I like it.
I like to point out a solution.
What's that, Mr. Benjamin?
I was thinking when you said about what we do, and I keep looking at this to stop domestic violence, and it made me realize a lot of the individuals, both female and male, who are committing these acts, that these are traumatized people because hurt people. So
Absolutely.
the way that we gotta address domestic violence is accept and address the fact that there are a lot of people who are hurt from other things before we allow them into our lives. These things must be investigated before we become, talking about us, men and women, become the victims of things that we had nothing to do with.
But
100%.
Benjamin, the thing is, people have been violent since Cain and Abel. I mean, so for us to think that we're just going to wave a magic wand and all violence is going to stop, it's just I don't know why we're
We keep saying,
nobody's been nobody in nowhere in the history of time has been able to effectively stop violence.
okay, let me explain to you what my father effectively taught me.
Oh,
The greatest thing he ever taught me, and that was what not to be. I've never put my hand on a woman and never would. Understand? So
that's not what we're
I
talking
want,
about, man.
listen, what
We're
we're
not talking about
talking about, listen, how you stop this violence is through treatment and information because any human being who feels like the last thought they had is the last thing they can do and then begin to do what the young man did to my sister up here for running water. Your last thought and your next thought cannot be violence. If that is placed in a human beings, I don't care what color you are, Democrat, Republican, whatever. If your next thought is to lay hands on another human being, then you, sir, are traumatized, need therapy, need help, and understand and are in the way and shouldn't be married to no one.
Well, I suggest self-defense. You have a
What
right
you
to
want to do?
defend
Stand your
yourself.
ground? You want to
You have
stand
a
your
right to,
ground?
you have a right to defend yourself at
Do
all
you want to
costs.
stand your ground?
Hold on, Benjamin.
Are you telling me that you have a right to stand your ground?
You have a right to defend yourself against assault. You
That's
do.
not the question. Are you taking the right to stand your ground?
Stand your ground against what?
Come on, sir. You are very intelligent. Please don't go off to a la la land on me now on pretzel land.
I'm just trying
Are
to
you
get clarity on your
claiming are
question.
you claiming the right to stand your ground?
Yes, you have a right to stand your ground against assault. People attacking you. Yes, you have a right to.
Okay. Do you understand the last person who stood their ground and what they stood their ground for?
I don't. I don't
I
know
Mr.
like
what.
to interject.
I'm gonna let
I
someone
like
else
to
take
interject.
over.
Go ahead, Miss Lakeisha.
Okay. Okay. I understand the two gentlemen. You were saying that you were taught by your fathers how what you're not supposed to do and what you were supposed to do, but it was myself and three brothers, and we were raised by a single mother. So we did not have that father figure there in that aspect to really um, show us what that looked like. Now, kudos to both of my brothers because they have turned out to be excellent men. They don't believe in putting their hands on a woman. However, I did not see that type of behavior between a man and a woman. So I guess I was certain. Well, no, I know after years of going through therapy, I know that part of the reason why I stayed with this man as long as I did is because I had a fear of abandonment, which
Mm.
steered from my father not being there.
Mm. Tell it. Talk.
That's facts.
Yeah.
100%.
Well,
So with that
if I
being
could
said,
just, but
Therein
Go
lies.
ahead.
Lakeisha,
Go ahead. Hang
Therein
on one
lies the
second.
solution,
Hang on
guys.
1 second, everybody. Precious. She is a subscriber. What did you say, ma'am?
I just wanted to say, Lakeisha, I totally understand what you're saying, and that is a big problem. But I was raised with my mother and father together, and my father raised me and my sisters exactly the way Sean does with his children. So I never saw a man my father never put his hands on my mother. There was none of that. And I got myself into the same predicament you did.
Mm.
So I had a very loving parents till this day. My father passed a year and a half ago. Loved my parents were together for 55 years. So that's what my question is. Where did I fail? Like looking back, how did I get myself into this predicament with this man? I had to cross over 13 states to get away from him, and he still found me.
Mm.
So the problem is when I looking back, I think, well, my family told me they didn't like him. I brought him home and they told me he's not good for you. And I still stayed with him. I'd stopped bringing him around the family because I knew they didn't like him. But I should have listened to my family. They were telling me constantly, and how I got out of my situation is I let him know I wasn't scared because the law was not helping me. The law was, well, wait a couple of weeks, see what happens, take different ways home. They were giving me all these bullshit excuses. And I'm not trying to talk bad about cops because my father's a retired police officer and my sister is a cop right now.
Right.
But the laws that are set in place, it's almost like I was treated like they didn't believe me,
Mm.
and in order, the laws are so crazy because I won't even get into what happened because it's that fucking crazy. But the laws, what the district attorney was telling me is he's going away for 30 years under this law. And because of one word in his charge, he only got to go away for 10 years. And he went away for 10 years from a law from 1953. So I'm just saying, like, there is a problem with, the father's not in the home, but I had an amazing father and I still allowed the same predicament to happen to me.
Do you, now that you fast forward to today, and I don't know if you had therapy or anything like that. What would you say was, do you give a reason why, considering your upbringing with the two family and your dad like Sean, and speaking how how you should be treated by men and how he treated your mother? Do you have a thought or a how do you reconcile that?
Well, because I also agree with Lakeisha. It's done like these men. Well, let me just not say these men. I apologize. The guy I was with, it comes in little doses. Like it's just a manipulation. You think, right when they have you on the top of this pedestal that you're just, this guy is so amazing. Look
Right.
what he does for me. And your friends are, wow, look what he does for you. And then it just starts slowly creeping in. And when you push back, it gets a little worse.
Mm.
Mr. Denali.
And I knew if I would have gone to my father, he would have done exactly what Sean did. So I didn't.
Mr. Denali.
Yes, sir.
What happens when you take a thief and you place him in a state prison? What happens?
They learn how to be better
Better at what?
at their craft.
All right, now wait a minute. That's just their craft. But look where you've put him and who you've put him with.
Right. He's surrounded by a bunch of people who have their own craft and they can teach that person how to be better at their craft. And they'll be a jack of all trades in that kind of underworld.
So they basically come out crafty. What you saying?
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, most time, I don't want to generalize because people
No,
who come
no.
out
I've been listen. I've been there 16 years. I sat there. I'm
yeah.
speaking. I'm telling you what I know, not guessing at.
Right. Yes, sir.
You come in, one thing. You come out, many things.
Mm.
How you utilize what you've learned is the difference. Now, I said that to say the women like Precious, God bless her, and my other sister, and a lot of these other sisters are victims of what I call the dead pool. The dead pool is all those guys that don't want to pay child support. All those got the differences in Democrat and Republicans. All of them that has reason to be selfish.
Right.
Understand? Because when you come out of selfishness, the next thing, next door neighbor is responsibility.
Hmm.
We have a lot of men in the dead pool for whatever reason that don't take responsibility but want to still be considered men.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with my manhood. Yes, it do.
Hmm.
So we have to think about first taking responsibility, because even in the book that I read, the guy Adam said, "Hey man, that was you and that chick you gave me." He never took responsibility for nothing.
Right.
So even today, the hardest thing for men to do inside the jails, outside the jails, in relationships, out of relationships, what kill relationships is a lack of responsibility. And it keeps on occurring and it leads to violence when people challenge your lives.
Right.
So where do we go from here, Benjamin?
Exactly where you guys have went. You've changed your dating levels, you've got more education, you've become more independent, and it's because you've been forced to.
But there's so many women, like, all right, so what about the argument of, the cops are going repeatedly to the same house? Even on their way, they know, okay, she's going to be all banged up. We're going to start pulling him out of the house and she's going to start crying for us to let him go. What about those situations? Because that's happening all the time.
Is that still happening, or have the laws changed where if you call, you can't, no, 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 don't take them. Somebody's going.
You have to have physical, you have to have like marks on your face.
Okay.
It's a bigger difference here in Philadelphia now because, to be honest with you, all the way back from Rizzo up, the largest part of our police force here were men. But today, here in 2024, you can have two sisters or two women that'll roll up at your house, and instead of just two men, now there are different options in law in place because of the craftiness, and we've had even police officers here who have been convicted of unaliving their wives while on the force, and it was the wives that was left, and the side people went to court on them. It's like so. We've had district attorneys such as Seth Williams who's been removed for office for different certain things. So it's the evidence of what's been taking place here in this city. I don't know about other cities.
All right.
No, in Florida, if I call the police and say, hey, I'm all banged up, if I have bruises on me or any type of red marks, any of that, yes, they are taking him. But he'll be out. He'll be
Right.
out, and then this guy goes right back to this woman, and usually when they go back, she has a big old dinner for him.
Right. And that protective order is, it's a piece of paper. Hopefully he abides by it. But he's already been proven to do things that aren't within the law. So, people say about those protective orders are, it's tough. It's really tough as far as what is it to do. So I want to go to HNIC. How you doing, sir? Welcome back.
Hey, hey, what's cracking, man? Thank you. As I said, my background, been an educator for like 17 so years, and also right now I work with different NGOs, companies when it comes to creating courses and everything because we live in a knowledge-based economy. So with this is looking at the idea of one of getting people educated of recognizing what is domestic violence because people just think that all right, it's putting hands on people. That usually is like at the tail end and not looking at being proactive of trying to stem of looking at the patterns of recognizing a person who is potentially violent or someone who's violent not just in a physical sense but also a verbal or mental sense as well. So this is where I'm big advocate of saying that, we need to bring back home economics into our schools to where that they know about dating violence and violence in relationships, whether it be physical or verbal and mental. And then also the idea of making it to where that states provide counseling for people who are about to get married. So that they would understand what the actual things are. Say, for example, if you look at the Gottman method, he was a mathematician and came up with a method of helping out making sure that couples are be able to have counseling and knowing that there's different things that are out there, like the way that you speak, the words that you use, using you statements instead of I statements to try to make sure we're proactive in making sure that we're able to keep people together and also stem the tide of domestic violence. And do remember, like in the 80s and 90s, we used to have a lot of PSAs, but unfortunately, we don't have a lot of PSAs today because we don't have like a unified way of getting information out. So that's where, people like us getting out information saying that, hey, if you see this, this is domestic violence and things of that nature. But it'll come from us, the idea of coming out with conversations, whether it be in schools, churches, and everything else. But unfortunately, since people don't go into religious institutions, it's going to more likely be, community, parents, and then also government, whether it be state or federal, to get out, the different courses, the different conversations to where that people can look at patterns to know what to avoid and then what to say and what to go about in stemming any type of issues that you have, conflict resolution. Used to be in schools. Unfortunately, they don't teach conflict resolution and everything like that in schools anymore because they're too focused on state testing. So we have to get it to where that stems from our conversations, stem with the parents, and then, push it to where that, government and other peoples are going about and do what they need to do to stem the tide of domestic violence and also conflict, interpersonal conflict, intrapersonal conflict.
Right. I think conflict resolution is huge. Best practices for that, and it needs to start at a younger age. I'm sure you would agree with that, sir.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And as I said, like we used to do. I don't know if y'all remember in our report cards, we used to have. Remember the conduct grades? Like
Yes.
you got an E for excellence. They've gotten
Yes.
rid of that. They've
Right.
gotten rid of that, unfortunately, because once again, they're so focused on the idea of state testing instead of there being socialization, and that's the perfect way of making sure that we can get great classroom citizens, which usually translates into great citizens outside of the classroom as well.
Of
So
the world,
that's what
100%.
yeah, so that's where we have to train the educators and get them more paid more, of course. But training, and then also, as I said, if the schools aren't doing it, then we have to do it on ourselves of creating different programs so our boys and girls know what it means to be able to interact with each other in a healthy manner and everything.
Yeah,
Using
and
those.
it seems like the testing, you correct me if I'm wrong, goes back to money. If they don't test well, they don't get the federal money. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's
Correct.
testing. As I said, me being in the field for a long time, it's the schools. It's not the students themselves. That's where you get the federal and state funding, and it's really a testament saying, hey, we've got our kids, our ponies to go into those hoops and to jump over, whatever types of things they're supposed to jump over, and it's not really looking into, really educating the kids.
Right, and making sure that we have some good citizens that we unleash after high school onto the world. Because if we're just focusing on the money and teaching the test, 2 + 2 = 4, whatever, whatever grade it is, but not teaching those other aspects to have a well-rounded student. You would like to say it's going to come from the home, but we know a lot of times, sometimes that falls short. So,
Yeah. And one last thing. I did a project on looking at black barbershops. If we actually get that information on stop the violence and everything to barbers and even hairstylists and everything, because they're the ones that disseminate a lot of information within our neighborhoods. That's why these sleazy politicians go into barbershops now and everything. But if we get good courses for them and get them educated, and then they'd be able to disseminate that throughout the communities and everything, that will help out. And saying, hey, you know what, me saying, you do this, instead of saying, hey, what I notice is this, and using I statements and other best practices, I think that would also be something that can move the needle of a Pareto principle type of aspect.
100%. I got my first condom in the barbershop. Used to have piles of them,
Exactly.
16 years
Tell my wife
old.
about that.
There used to be fish bowls full of, condoms. I was like, hey, let me grab a couple of those. You know what I mean? Stayed in my wallet for a little while, but I did eventually get to use it. So,
No doubt. Actually, when you said that, I was talking to my wife that I was trying to contact my homeboy, my barber Jeff. He was my second barber, but when I went to prom, he was having a conversation with me. He said, "Hey, man, you know that with your girlfriend, if you go out and do something, make sure you strap up and everything." Like
right.
I was kind of taken aback, like, "Yo, man, you my barber. You supposed to just cut my hair, son. Like you ain't supposed to give me life tips." But it really did stick with me, and that's where I think that the power of the hairstylist and the barber, because they're in that intimate type of space, and so you're able to have those conversations. So
Sure.
there's something to be had with that.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much for lending your voice. Thank you so much to Mr. Benjamin for lending his voice, because I was wondering where were the men at when I was talking about this conversation yesterday. Where are the men, especially
And
the
they
guys?
ran again. They ran away again.
Yeah, well, I don't know about again. I think Mr. Benjamin did his thing. I think Mr. Block, he has a certain perspective, like it or not. I do admire that he did come up and apologize to Mia for his outburst yesterday. I thought it was very uncalled for, and I will not allow that kind of thing to happen over here. So thank you so much, IHNIC. And you're where you what state are you in, sir?
Oh, I'm in the great state of Texas, my friend.
You're in Texas, okay? Down there with Duke and Dr. Shay. They're both in Houston, Texas.
Oh yeah. I'm up north. I'm originally from Austin, but I live in the DFW area.
Okay, Dallas Fort Worth. I've never been to Dallas Fort Worth, but I hear great things about Dallas, and I have to
Man,
visit there.
yeah, yeah, definitely Fort Worth as well, and Arlington as well. It's really nice out here.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much
Yes, sir.
for continuing to come back and give us some of that knowledge that you have as being an educator, because it does start with you guys. Miss Karen Land, how are you? Welcome. The Tigers took a loss late yesterday, I'm hearing.
You know, I was so busy with I had work and a meeting and got home late. I haven't even seen the results. We lost?
Yeah, I mean, according to Duke and Sean, LSU lost to Iowa, the Hawkeyes, Caitlin Clark.
Oh, yeah. Well, we lost to a good team at least.
Absolutely, absolutely. They've been a great team, and it's a great rivalry between Caitlin and Angel and that whole team. So,
Absolutely. You remember last year that whole I can't see you and the
hmm
ring pointing to the ring
right,
finger and all that mess last year?
right. I think it's good for women's sports, though. I think it puts people love rivalries, and they
It
definitely have
is.
created a rivalry for sure.
They definitely made a big deal out of it when guys, they do it all the time in sports. But last year, for some reason, it was like oh, I can't believe there's crap talking. It's like, what? Go on, girl.
Right. They lost 87-94.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. They did. So. Yeah. So what say you, Miss Caroline? I know yesterday you shared some experiences with her yesterday on this topic, and your voice is very much needed. Precious has shared with us today, as well as Lakeisha. She has shared with us as well. And HNIC, as an educator, was giving us some best practices and things that we can definitely do. So what say you, Miss Karen Land, down in the great state of Louisiana, working at DOT, Department of Transportation?
Well, like I said yesterday, my very first my first boyfriend, I was 17, he was 22. We got married when I was 20. Had my first child at 21. The abuse was really slow. First, it was, the whole isolation and and I was young, so I didn't know. And my dad was wonderful. My mom, not so much. But so when it happened, I was with him for 13 years, and it was a lot more verbal and all of that. And when I took my kids and moved 300 miles away, and um, over the next years, I had great relationships. And then, like I said, I met the next one and married him, and he was the same as my first. But I woke up in the middle of the night. I have had my granddaughter that I'm raising, the 17-year-old that I just got a couple of months ago. I got her little sister, which is 16, to come visit for the Easter break, and they were arguing, and they woke me up in the middle of the night. And I went in there, and the younger one was hollering. I'm like, "What's going on?" And she said, "Alexa and her boyfriend are arguing again, and they break up and they get back together." And it's all over the manipulation that he wants to control her and all of that. And I just told her right there in front of my granddaughter, I'm like, you can't make someone be done. I had to physically go through it. Her mom is going through it right now. She left her husband because of that. And now my granddaughter is being quote unquote groomed into this. And so I'm trying to show her, you can be in it and recognize the signs and get away from it. But yeah, I basically told them both, you can be mad at her, you could tell her all day long how it's not a good situation, and you can demean her and tell her you love her, but nothing's going to make her get away from this guy until something happens that she is ready, like alcohol or drugs. You have to hit a bottom and you have to be ready. And that's really sad to me. This is like the third generation that this, like, it started with me, and I got away from my daughter's father when she was 5. But then I married that second man when she was a teenager. So it's, the cycle was dormant there for a little while, and so we definitely need to speak on it. And, yeah, it really just irritated me, that this cycle is being repeated, and it's not really as understood as it should be by that generation.
Lakeisha or Precious or HNIC, you have anything on that?
How old is your granddaughter?
She's 17.
Hmm.
It's nothing physical yet, but I know in my past relationships, it all started with the manipulation and you can't go here, you can't do that, you can't talk to this person, and then it becomes slowly something bigger.
And how long has it been? I guess because she's 17. So how long has this relationship been?
It's been about 8 months, and they have literally broken up time and time again. And every time they break up, I'm like, thank God, this is toxic. This is not a good relationship. Why would you? And she's like, I know it. I'm not going back. And then 2 days later, it's,
And is
yeah.
her father in her life?
Her father is not.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So when she
No.
takes him back, is everybody in the family like, is he allowed to come over for family dinner after she takes him back?
Well, at first he wasn't, and then that made a rift, with me and her.
Right, right.
And so I'm like, of the thinking is, if she's gonna do this, see, my daughter that's going through this, her husband is not allowed at my house. There was physical, like, hospitals, and he is not allowed at my house. But the granddaughter's boyfriend has never physically harmed her, and so I have come.
That you know of, though, Karen Land.
That's true. That's true. And if I would have something concrete to say, I'm sorry, he's not allowed. My fear is her, like, getting separated and isolated is
Right,
I,
right.
and
It's
so
tough. I
I'm
get it.
yeah. So any words would help.
Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, what does her mom say? I'm sure her mom, doesn't want this to continue because you guys are kind of seeing the red flags, and you don't want it to get out of hand, I would imagine.
Right. Yeah, we're both kind of lost. We want her to get away from this guy before bad things start happening, which emotional manipulation, when my second husband was actually, before the physical started, I actually told a friend, I remember clearly telling my friend, I wish he would just hit me and get it over with, because this verbal,
The verbal
the
abuse.
the mind degrading, the things that people say is so horrible that, it was crazy for me to look back and hear myself saying that. But emotional abuse is horrible.
Right.
I mean, physical is too, but in a
The
different
wounds
way.
heal, but you can't unhear something over and over, and it eats away at you psychologically.
And that's part of
Yeah, and
the
it
manipulation. They try to make you weak.
Sparrow 65 says they break you down before they ever lay hands on you.
Correct. Correct.
So like it's a grooming, it's a grooming situation,
Correct.
and they love bomb you is what the term is nowadays. It's too good to be true. I found Prince Charming. We're soulmates, and next
Or
thing
I
you
can
know,
change him. I can change him.
right? If you see some red flags, I can change him, and then next thing you know, like Miss Lakeisha shared with us, the water goes on the floor, and he sets him off, and you're like, where did that come from?
my second husband actually said, "I'm going to tell y'all this, and you're going to think I'm insane." I was his sixth wife,
Hmm.
and he was a neighbor. I knew of situations with him and his two other wives that I knew when we were neighbors over the years. But he convinced me that it was them, and I was willing to like believe it was them. And yeah, so I'm embarrassed to say that, but
No, don't be embarrassed. I mean,
Not
listen,
at all, Karen.
our truth is our truth.
You agreed, Karen Lamb, to keep the situation calm. When you agree with
right.
these guys, it gives them more power.
And two, the only reason I married him was from psychological. We would like go out to date night, and he wanted to get married, and I was like, we can't even like get along for a couple weeks at a time. What do you mean get married? And he was like, well, once we get married, then I'll feel more secure, and this will be different. And so I actually married him like he's like, we're either getting married or we're breaking up. And insanely, um, I married him. I to say this out loud right now, it just sounds insane to me.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, listen, your truth is your truth. You know what I'm saying? And saying out loud sometimes helps, in my opinion, as opposed to keeping it in. This is a safe space where you're able to share, and your experiences will be respected and not dismissed. And we all have different experiences, so don't feel shame, don't feel anything. I want you to be able to speak freely about your experience because you're helping people. If you don't think you are, people, I've gotten DMs from the show yesterday, and I'm trying to get set up, like I said, for a straightforward for women who want to feel to take some power back, if they want to go ahead and get a Second Amendment and a training course for them to get a discount if they want to go that way. Because I think that's why I advised to my friend, and I'm paying for it for her to go and do that. That I think that would help to give her some power so that she doesn't feel powerless. Because she knows that and I think a lot of women understand that they can't, beat up a guy physically, but something that would level the playing field would be a Second Amendment, but you got to know how to use it properly, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense.
And know when to use it, which is
Well,
even
and when, of course, right.
yeah.
And if you pull it out, you need to be ready to use it.
To
You
use
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. With the four laws of gun ownership and everything, definitely.
So that's what I'm trying to do, and I've been talking to some resources and trying to get a code so that if women who visit the platform, they feel like they need to get to that even before something happens, just for their own self protection, to give them some sort of power. I think that's a good thing because I felt helpless in helping my friend. I didn't know what to do, and I thought this might be a good way to start.
Yeah, let me check see if I can find some a code to where you can direct some people. Give me some time and I'll be able to DM you something because I have a client that deals with gun safety and everything like that and training. So
Fantastic.
yeah, I'll be on the horn. 1 second.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
So
Karen,
go ahead, Miss Lakeisha.
Karen, I just wanted to encourage you and your daughter both. If your granddaughter is open to it, it may be a great idea at this point to start her with some type of counseling, someone who specializes in DV, because he is grooming her at this point, and her self-esteem is taking a nosedive. It's subtle, but we know that's what's going on.
Absolutely. I will look into that right away.
Yeah, I mean, it starts. I think everything starts with education, right? And expert. That's why we have these experts. I'm not an expert. I don't know if there's any experts on the panel. I know HNIC. He is a education guy, so he, knowing. When you know better, you do better. And as GI Joe, the famous GI
Knowing
Joe,
is
I
half the
used to watch
battle.
that cartoon. He said, "Knowing is half the battle."
Yes,
And
sir.
generally, when we know better, we generally do better. My opinion. But it starts with education, and I think it starts with our young children, young girls especially, and men and boys too, that it's not okay, but also that love is not supposed to hurt physically. Now, yeah, we will hurt our loved ones' feelings, and we might do something maybe emotionally damaging, but physical should not be from love. That's not love. I think secretly men who abuse women, I think that they don't like them. They're in competition with them. They don't want them to be great. They feel inferior to this woman, and they lash out because they want to damage her psyche, and in some cases they want to damage her physically. Black eye, pulling out hair, doing things that if I can't have you, then no one else will want you. And I'm going to try to scar you emotionally, and the physical thing will heal possibly, but the psychological will still be there. Because, like I said, you can't unhear things, and you have to go to counseling to try to get your power back. So, Sparrow 65, my good friend, are you in North Carolina?
I am.
That's right. Okay, you're a Tar Heel, Wolfpack, what is it? Did you tell me?
Well, no, I'm originally from South Carolina, so I'm a Gamecock.
You're a Gamecock. Okay. And how are you guys doing in the basketball, the women's basketball tournament?
That is, I don't really watch basketball. That's not my
Okay.
sport. I like baseball and I like football.
Okay, you got the old ball coach over there. He used to be up there. I don't know
Mhm.
who you guys got now, but yeah. Okay, good. All right, what say you, Miss Sparrow?
I'm actually a survivor of domestic violence.
Okay, let's use
And
DV, okay?
and before, usually in my case, and when I went to counseling, years of it, they usually break you down mentally before they lay hands on you. They want you to believe that they've laid hands on you because it's your fault, that you've done something when in reality you haven't. You know, my ex husband actually tried to unalive me.
Mm.
He poured gasoline on me and had me begging on the floor, crawling around like a dog, begging for my life. And I went through a pretty horrific situation, and I have a scar in my face where he hit me with his fist,
Oh boy.
and it's a terrible thing to live through. I say I'm a survivor because I'm not a victim. I got out of it, but there are many who don't, who
Absolutely.
who either don't listen to the advice of people who know and have been down that road, or like you say, they think they can make them better, they can fix them, or it's my fault he's doing this, because that's what they like to try to make you think. It's actually your fault. You
Right.
did something. Why do you make me do
Psychological
this?
damage they do.
Right. They
Or they
break you
try to.
down, and breaking you down psychologically is much more lasting than physically. Those physical scars will heal, but what they
Hmm.
do to you mentally, I had nightmares for a long, long time of burning, catching on fire, and things like that, and just the situation I was in. It took me a long time to get past that. It is a horrible, horrible situation to live in.
Right. 100%. Wow, another young woman who was telling her story about this. So it's it's an epidemic. A lot of times we don't hear about it because people, and I can't even imagine the number of reports that go unreported, that people suffer in silence and maybe find their way to get out, but they don't really tell anybody and they live with that. And that does affect you in the rest of your life. You know what I mean? I would imagine if you don't get the help, get the professional help to try to gain your power back. So I'm trying to do what I can with my little voice that I have over here and raise awareness and holding men accountable to, because I think we have to help in stopping it. When we hear it, when we hear stories about that, we need to go ahead and let these guys know that they're cowards and, they should not be doing that. And, 'cause I believe in talking. I believe that as long as we continue to talk and if we have to put action behind it, put action behind it. But that's what I think, so that's what I got. Lakeisha, do you have anything else, or you gave Carolyn some great advice?
I'm sure a lot of people want to know what the final result was. I did remarry again. I've been married this time for 22 years to a wonderful.
Congratulations! Wow, good job.
So you can break that cycle. It just takes time.
Right, absolutely. How long were you in therapy before you felt kind of back to yours? And then the children. Now that's always difficult because you're a mother, and that was their father.
That was their father,
That
yes.
was their father. And when you left, the children were how old?
The children were, hmm, I want to say that they were like 7 and 9, I believe it was.
7 and 9.
So,
So now you
yeah.
got to navigate co-parenting. Well, no, I don't know. Was he incarcerated for this? Did you?
No, he never spent any time, no incarceration. There was an ex parte at one time, but that was only short lived.
Okay.
The co-parenting was pretty much myself.
Oh.
Occasionally he would come to pick them up when I had it so that he had to pick the kids up in a mutual place where there were other people around because
Okay.
I just was in that much fear of him and I never knew what he might try.
Mm. Well, I'm sure that you're conflicted because you don't want to give the children because they're both of your children. But you being the mother, you're a lot more nurturing, and you carried these children for 9 months or so. I'm sure that was difficult to navigate. That you have to hand the children over to the person who you're in somewhat fear of.
And that was a hard decision, especially with my son. It wasn't as hard with the daughter because felt like he kind of favored her a little more. But
Okay.
with the son, it seems like he got into a lot of trouble for things that his sister did. So that was very hard to
Hmm.
navigate.
So you think he kind of picked on your son a little bit
Yeah.
because in retaliation against you, or what do you think that was about?
I now that I have yet to. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But needless to say, now that my children are grown, the
Yes.
son is the one who spends the most time with his father, and he has said that he spends that time with him because he feels sorry for him.
Mm. Wow, really? And do they know the story fully? Do they know parts of it? How did you navigate that?
I didn't realize what type of an effect that really had on my children until they probably were in their teen years, and we would really sit down and talk about it. And they details that they remember and the things that they remember when this stuff was going on, it was just mind-boggling to me. I had no idea. I did
Right.
everything I could to try to protect them, but
Mhm.
some of those things they were point on. They could tell me details that I had kind of blocked out.
Right. I mean, we don't live in we think we're keeping things from our children, but they're very, very smart and they pick up on things. They're even smarter now, these children nowadays. So they pick up on things. I know when I was a kid, I picked up on things. I'm like, something doesn't seem quite right here. Even myself, I shared yesterday, I was about 80 years old and I saw my stepfather strike my mother several times and choke her, and at 8 looking at that. And I remember saying to myself at that age, I said, wow, how and I felt helpless, at 8 years old. Um, How could you do that to somebody that you supposedly love? And I vowed that I would never do that, and I have never. And I don't want a cookie for that. You're not supposed to. I don't believe in giving cookies for things that you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I still think about it. It comes back every now and again, and that's troubling for a young kid, especially a male child or even a female child to see that. So it does stay with you, and unfortunately, sometimes when you see it, the children grow up and repeat that and do that. But I chose to go, and it's a choice. I chose to go another route, and I try to be calm in situations and not let my emotions get the best of me.
What made you go a different route? Like what
I don't,
happened? Like
I don't know. That's I've asked myself that question. It was even some physical abuse to me as a kid for certain things, and I just said that I would never. I would, I don't want to bring pain, especially physical pain, to anybody who I love, who I hold near and dear, who I value, who I respect, and I've been able to live up to that, even with my son. I think I might have spanked him maybe 3 times in his life. I don't really believe in spanking. I mean, and I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not a big fan of corporal punishment. I believe in speaking to my kid and having conversations with him, giving him a voice because he was a little person. He's 18 years old right now. Um, but I never wanted to bring pain to anybody who I love, at least in physical pain. Now, have I hurt some people with words and actions? Yes, I have, absolutely. Because we don't always do things the right way, but physical pain should never bring to a woman because love is not supposed to hurt physically. So I'm a firm believer in that. And I also think that words should not bring about violence. Just because someone says something to you, that doesn't give you the right to go ahead and strike them for any reason. No words should bring about violence. You should be able to have the strength to walk away and be like, this is not a good situation for me, and I need to exit quickly from the situation and let cooler heads prevail. My opinion. So that's what I got. So I want to go ahead and go to our new member. My glasses on. Shyla? Shyla? M?
Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Good to have you. How did you hear about the platform?
Hello?
Can you hear me, ma'am? Hello, Shyla?
Yeah,
Sheila?
I can hear you, but yeah, I can hear you, but I think there's a network problem.
Hmm. You might want to drop and come back up. It might be okay. Because I see that you only got 2 bars.
Hello?
Why don't you drop and come? Can you drop and come back up? I'm gonna drop her.
Okay.
Yeah, if request back up, Shyla, and we'll bring you back up. If there's a moderator, can you bring Shyla back up, please? Bring her back up.
Now, my ex-husband actually went to prison for what he
Who
did
did
to
it?
me. I had him locked up. He got 10 years because, of course, when you go to court, they knock down the charges a lot. He got 10 years, and he served about 4.5 or 5, and I think it was 4.5 of the 10.
Okay, 4.5 of the 10.
hmm
Was
you
this?
get some credit for everything you do. Like if you participate in programs or the rehabilitation thing, they start knocking time off of it. It's not day for day. But he's back in prison again for
Oh, okay.
doing it to a girlfriend.
Oh,
So
really? He didn't learn his lesson.
no, he didn't, and he'll learn it this time because he actually made his little mistake in Georgia,
Okay.
and they hooked him up, buddy.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Well,
I didn't want to, and not that I didn't want to help the situation. I just had put that out of my mind, and having to relive it was very difficult for me. But they forced me to testify
mm,
because the girlfriend had also been in trouble, and they said she wasn't as reputable a witness as they wanted. And this DA really wanted to get him because of his past history.
Right.
And I had never been in any trouble or arrested, anything like that. So because I told them I didn't want to, but they made me testify. And
Okay.
he got 30 years,
Mm.
and he's got to serve day for day
Oh, really?
15 of those years before he can come up for parole. It's not guaranteed. He can have
15
an
years.
option for it.
Mm.
Um, and I don't have a problem with him getting that many, because if anybody deserves it, he does.
Right. Yeah, he got out 4 years and then he
Went right back to the same
right
thing.
back. Wow. Wow. That's
And the DA wasn't doubting what he did to the girl, but she just wanted a rock solid case.
right. She was covering all the bases. She was dotting
And
her I's and crossing her T's.
yes, and she got him. She got him good.
That's exactly what Fonnie Willis should do. That's why I'm asking for her to step down, because I think she's a guilty of 4
Well,
judge.
I can't remember her name. I just remember her being a
Oh.
blonde haired lady,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't in that county,
Hey,
of Fulton
Rosemary.
County. It
Okay.
wasn't her.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Shyla, you're back. Can you hear me now? Is it a better
Yeah,
connection?
yeah, I
Is it a
can
better?
hear you.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you. How did you hear about the platform, ma'am?
Hello? Mama, stop, stop, stop,
Yes.
stop.
Go right ahead.
Hello?
What is it that you want to say? Please tell us what you want to say. Shyla? Ma'am, can you hear me? Okay. Miss Shyla, can you hear me? All right. We're having some technical difficulty here. So, yeah. So, well, he got 30 years, and well, do you know when he'd be able to get out? When did he go?
Oh, no, this happened recently. It happened this year.
Oh, wow. So
Um.
he's an older guy doing this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He'll definitely. I figure he'll learn his lesson this time when he comes out. He'll be too old to do anything else.
right. Well, he's got to be 40, 50.
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
He's in his 50s, so 15 years. So you talk 65, 70 years old, and he's going to get out. Wow.
Well, that's an
Guys.
option with parole, and in Georgia, I wouldn't say he would even get it.
Well,
Georgia don't play.
right. Well, maybe he's he might get time for different programs to, I don't know.
No,
It's
but that's the thing you have to pay attention to also,
mhm,
because when my guy got out, he wanted to come back to Florida.
mhm,
And the only reason why I found out about that is because the secretary that I dealt with in 2010 over this, she saw my file cross her desk and she personally called me.
mhm.
Nobody called me like, hey, this guy's going back to Florida, just to let you know. It was a secretary, and she did
Wow.
it out of the kindness of her heart. So
Mhm.
I called, and they were trying to explain to me that, he served his time, like there's nothing you can do about it, which was not true.
Right.
I called the congressperson in Washington, D.C., explained to
Mhm.
them the situation. They told me who to call in my local area, and they fought it, and we won. He
Wow.
is not allowed back in Florida. So, people don't realize that. They think they go to jail and it goes away. You have to pay attention to when they get out,
Right.
because they're mad. They're mad
Oh yeah,
because when
absolutely.
when you put these guys in jail, they're so angry because you one up them.
Right. How dare you do this to me?
Exactly. And I'm telling you, if anybody's listening, there's also a book out there called The Gift of Fear. It's
Mm.
an amazing book.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, they are angry. Like, man, how, because it's all about power and they want to continue to have power over you, even when they're not striking you. That's what the psychological aspect is about. To keep you in fear, keep you feeling embarrassed, keep you feeling shame. I can't tell anybody about this. And that's all by design so that they can continue to have some type of hold on you, even when they don't have a physical hold on you. So, good for the ladies that have come up and shared their journey and their story. on this very, very difficult topic. But I think that together we can try to, make some inroads so that, more people aren't having this type of challenge. Carolyn, you had something came up for me.
Yeah, I on that the I when I left my second husband a few times, and I would run to my sister's house, and then after a few weeks of him talking me back, she had a neighbor, and we would sit outside and chat. And when I finally did leave for good, when he there was physical things that could be seen, and it was right out there. This neighbor told me that she thought the whole time I was making it up. That
Mm.
I would, she because he laid floors, and so he had done floors for like my sister and my mom and some other people. And so my family and this neighbor had been around him a lot. And he was the nicest person that you would ever meet. And he would give you the shirt off of his back. And so she told me, she's like, I thought you were exaggerating when you would say all that stuff. So that's kind of part of their tactic too, is to show Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, look how wonderful I am to everybody else. But then, I would remember something being said at a gathering and just cringe, because I knew when we got home, I that was not going to go over good once we got into our house and shut the doors.
Right. So there was a lot of fear that he was going to retaliate. You're watching everything you do because you don't want to make him angry. You definitely probably don't want to embarrass or do anything that he feels will be embarrassing to him in front of people, because he's waiting until he gets you behind the door and then, watch out, right? I imagine.
Right. And it was crazy things that, like, he couldn't stand my first husband, the father of my children. And so whenever one of my kids or somebody would bring up my first husband, it would infuriate him. And so somebody would like say something, and I would just like, oh my gosh. My son raced go-karts for a while, and two of my brother-in-laws came to watch him race, and my husband threw a fit because he's like, I can't believe it. And I'm like, that's his family. And there was a big to do about that. So you never knew
What
what
would
it
set
was
him
going to
off?
be.
Right. And that's got to be a horrible feeling to be kind of in fear all the time, watching every step as a grown adult, because you don't want to make this particular individual angry.
You feel like you're walking on eggshells.
Oh, uh-oh.
That's the
Miss,
way I felt.
okay,
Exactly.
Miss Shyla, Miss Shyla, do you guys see that message that she put in the chat?
I didn't want to interrupt, but yes.
Miss Shyla, if you can hear me, please come off of mute. If you,
Hello?
yes, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Is it something that you want to share with us? How can we help you, ma'am? Please share.
I
It's okay.
needed help, please. I lost my job and I'm dying out of depression. I have a 3-year-old daughter.
Okay. What state are you in?
Can you hear me?
What state are you in, ma'am?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm asking you, what state are you in?
I lost my job and since morning I've not given my daughter anything.
What state are you in? Where do you live? What state?
I live in Kenya.
You're in Kenya. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was working in Kenya Prison Service.
Okay. Are there resources there that can help you navigate what's going on?
I've been trying to look for help in churches everywhere.
Okay. I'm saying, are there resources there that can help you? Churches,
No,
a
not
mosque.
really.
There's no religious service, no religious entities that can Red Cross. And I'm not sure what the resources are in Kenya. I have not visited Kenya yet in my life. Um,
I'm a Catholic worshiper, but I seeked help in my church, but I couldn't get help. I pay rent here. Since I lost my job, I've been through a lot.
right. So when you go to the church, what does the what is your what do have you are you a frequent member at your church?
Yeah, I'm a Catholic.
Okay, and when you go to the church, what does the pastor say? Can they help you? Do they have resources there to help you navigate until you find a new place of employment?
He keeps on giving me dates. The father we have here, he keeps on giving me date, but when I try to reach him, I'm told that he's not available, he's busy, so
Mhm. Well, I
I'm
mean,
just tired.
how many people in the church?
It is a Catholic church.
How many?
We have many worshippers. Let's say like 500.
500 worshipers. Wow, that is a nice sized church. And have you reached out to some of your fellow church
Yeah,
members?
it is a Catholic church.
Have you reached out to some of the fellow parishioners?
I've seek help everywhere, Mr. Daniel. Almost everywhere.
Right. And when you go to your fellow parishioners, what is it that they tell you?
You know, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I'm saying when you go to your fellow parishioners, what advice do they give you? Hello? Oh wow. I don't know. I'm way above my pay grade. I don't know what to do. I mean, if you got a 500 person church, hopefully somebody in the church can lend some help of some kind or direct you to a place who that has some resources. You know what I mean? So, anybody have anything on that? Anything else I can cover with her if she comes back?
I don't know anything about Kenya. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't have the resources we have, unfortunately. But I wouldn't know how to help anybody that far away.
yeah, me either. So I don't know what I don't know what to say. I can offer encouraging words. Try to find somebody in the church that can help
That
you.
is a big church. I
Yeah,
would.
500 members. I was shocked. I was like, yeah, that sounds like there's got to be one person who, you know, something has to be something going on. In my opinion, but I'm not judging or anything like that. I'm just using my good old noodle and trying to come up with a solve or a best practice in that situation. Sean, what's up, buddy? What you got?
Oh, nothing. I'm just hopping up. I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound bad, but that could have been fake. That could have been just
And
trying to
I
get
was
some
gonna
money.
say that
It's
too.
possible.
I
It's
was
I
gonna
was
say
possible.
that
thinking that, but
too.
I didn't want to say it.
I didn't know she was gonna try to hit me, say, "Can I put my cash app up?" Or I probably wouldn't allow that because
I
I don't.
think she was looking for something like that, like
Yeah, I mean, I'm in
someone start
Georgia.
giving her.
I don't know how far Kenya is from here, but there's a lot of other states or countries and stuff before you get to my little platform over here, Mr. Denali XXL. So, but
Yeah.
I can definitely talk with you if that's that can help and try to give you some best practices. So I don't know. You never know who's listening, right? I mean, so sounds like a winner. Yeah. So what you got going down in Florida? You ready for the next After Dark special, Sean?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Goldie yesterday, but it was kind of a serious conversation because we were talking. You had that same subject up. I
Yeah,
was
that
going to
probably
ask
wasn't.
her,
That is
Mrs. Shaw.
fantastic. Oh, there she is right there. You spoke Goldie up. She's right next
Hey,
to you.
I wanted to know if that $5,000, if I qualify for that.
You know what? I am not going to get in trouble with your wife.
Ah,
Plus, I
I
said,
talked to Mrs.
what did
Shaw, and
I
she said
say?
it might be a possibility she'd pimp me out
Now, see, what
what?
did I say? I said high
for
class.
$5,000.
I said high class escort. I said high class. That means we
I'm high
going
class,
through.
baby. I'm high class.
Miss
No, you
Goldie
got
says
to
she wants
no.
that good eggplant. That's what she says she
Yeah,
wants.
it's got to
That
be. It's
good
got to be
eggplant.
pretty. It's got to be pretty woman Richard Gere American Gigolo style.
Miss
Oh, I got
Goldie.
you.
Boy,
I
oh
got
boy.
you.
Miss Goldie coming in on fire. Whoa.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Miss Goldie. She was the life. Her and Sean were definitely the highlights of our After Dark special that we had, subscriber only last Friday.
That
Do have
was
some clips.
lovely.
Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Do have some clips up there. Kenyatta, how are you? How you been? Do have some clips up there, and it was spicy, 100%. And we're probably gonna do that twice a month right now, and we're getting the next one, which will not be this Friday, will be the next Friday, together with what there's some things that we want to do to bring out the spiciness. Because and I'll say, and Miss Goldie says she wants that. She's gonna pay for that good eggplant. So we want to try to help Miss Goldie.
She wants that baloney
Did
pony.
I get a GoFundMe?
Listen, I think you got some fans that definitely would contribute to you, getting that taken care of. Or listen, it might be somebody in the audience who wants to maybe take you out and see what happens, see if some sparks or some chemistry happens, and maybe you won't have to pay $5,000. So
Well, as long as I come out alive of this new client, I got to watch a pig.
wait, what?
Hey, Denali, don't be blocking me now.
I've got to
No,
watch
no,
a
I'm
pig.
not in the running, Sean. I'm not in the running. You're at the front of the list so far. So no, I'm not going to try to. I'm going to try to help facilitate this. So if I can, I will. I want. Can I do that legally? I don't even know if I can do that legally. That might
We
be.
better steer clear of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to find out. I need to
I
talk to
don't.
my
I
lawyer
don't
to see
want.
if
I
I can
don't
get in
want the.
trouble.
I don't want what they did to
Just
P
don't put it
Diddy. I
under
don't want
another
nobody
name.
jumping on my porch.
Right, exactly. What'd you say, Sparrow?
I got put it under another name. Can't
Maybe
be
so.
got to change it, not to
It's a
solicitation.
donation. It's a donation
Yeah,
to
you're not.
satisfaction.
Not
How about that?
solicitation. Yeah, you can't
It's
use
a
that word.
donation.
It's
It's
always about the word.
relaxation therapy
That's right.
because we all need that relaxation therapy. So
Kind of like acupuncture. You got to have some relief sometime.
acupuncture does help. I don't. I think what Miss Goldie wants and is looking
No,
for is
that's what I mean. It's like acupuncture.
like
You have to have a
acupuncture, right?
relief.
Absolutely. We all got to release sometime. We got to get it off our chest, so to speak. And Sean and Miss Angie definitely are the uh they
Freaking
they
leaks.
they they do a lot of releasing. Let's just say that.
Hey, it's kept them together
If you
for
were
30
not in
years.
the subscriber only, man, let me tell you that $2.69 was well worth it. Why Dave was in there. That $2.69 was well worth it because you heard Sean. You think Sean is loose up here during the day. You hear him at night with him and Miss Angie. Oh, and then you throw in Goldie and Nata Shay and Dr. Shay. Oh, Dr. Shay released some stuff that we didn't know about. And
Oh yeah,
he let some
yeah. I'm
stuff
disappointed
out.
in her still.
Yes,
Yeah.
I gave her a little bit. I said, you are always polarizing. You always got some controversial things to say. She came up with some stuff in that live, and she's always got something to say.
It was great.
Definitely, she leaves her mark on the platform 100%. So We are going to work on that, Miss Goldie. But listen, guys, we need to continue to tap the screen. I hate to keep saying that, but that's the only way that we can get the this out to the For You page, so we can continue to build the most inclusive space here on TikTok. What's up, One Live Mike? We also, if you go to my YouTube channel, it's the same name. Become a subscriber. I don't think it costs anything over there. There's no cost to become a subscriber. It's like being a follower on TikTok, as we're trying to build that up as well. And we will have full episodes. We're starting to put full episodes up on the YouTube channel, as well as clips and things like that. So if you could make your way over to that and go ahead and give a subscription, it doesn't cost to subscribe on TikTok. It's like follow here on Tik. What did I say? It doesn't cost to subscribe on YouTube. It's like a subscriber is the same thing as a follower on TikTok. There you go. I got a little tongue tied, but I was able to fight it. Again. So what's going on in Colorado, Goldie? Give me something good.
Just getting ready to go out to meet my client.
Oh, what line of work are you in?
Well, I'm retired, but mainly I house sit and animal sit.
Oh, you animal sit.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
She said
that
her client, wink, wink.
no,
Oh, I
seriously.
missed the wink wink, Miss
No,
Goldie.
there was no wink wink. No, I'm
Oh, there was no
serious.
wink wink?
No, I'm serious. No, I do. Actually, these people are going to. Oh shoot! Well, I just finished some people who went to New Zealand, and these people, they're going somewhere in Europe. But they're very, very protective of their animals, and I do have a lot of animals that are on medication, but it's only by word of mouth. And I wasn't planning on doing it. I've just always loved, being up here in Colorado. We have every kind of animal, but there's certain ones you don't pet. But yeah, so I'm going out. So yeah, I got pig, horses before, but these are their children. So just gives me something to do on the side.
Okay. Now what kind of animal are you sitting for today?
I'm going to talk to the lady about a pig.
Oh, okay. 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 And
It was supposed.
are you
All the
knowledgeable
pigs
on
live
pigs
on.
and stuff?
Actually, it's a pet pig. It lives in the house.
But pigs can be territorial
Yeah, I
with
don't know. And see,
strangers.
this one, that's why I always go first and
Is
meet.
this your first pig?
Yeah, this is my first pig outside of like pigs. Oh, there were some people, and I think, oh God, they had lambs, but these were all like in pens. So that this will be my first in a house.
Well, Miss Sparrow, talk to Miss Goldie about the territorial nature of pigs, because she
Oh,
knows out there in NC.
Yeah,
they're
because
very they're very intelligent.
tell
Very
me this,
intelligent.
because this one was supposed to be a pot belly and it's not.
Well, that's usually, and I'll tell you a lot of things that happen with that. Vietnamese potbelly pigs were their growth was stunted, and we brought them over here, and of
Mhm.
course we feed all our animals too much, and that started making them larger, and then they got crossbred. You got to really be careful of how you breed them to get those smaller ones. But we overfeed our animals, and that's why they're never actually the size they're supposed to be. Like my little Chihuahua, she really shouldn't weigh but about 8 pounds, but she weighs more than that. And
Mm.
it's because we spoil them and feed them too much. But they are territorial. But if they're gentle and loving, they are just super pets. They are.
Will they
They're very
bite
good.
a pig?
Yes, they're very good. They're very intelligent.
No, will they
Um,
bite you?
no, now, like I say, when I say territorial, they're not used. I've never heard of one attacking. They
Okay.
just don't want you in their space.
Hmm. Now, what's a millipig? Is a millipig a type of pig?
They're those little teeny tiny little like micro dogs. You have to
No,
breed
this
back
is
real
this is a big
small.
pig. It's a platform on TikTok. It's the Salinger something where they broadcast, and the father is like 92 years old, and he's going through Alzheimer's, and they have a pet, and they always say millipig, millipig. I don't know if that's the pig's name or if that's the type of pig that pig is, but that pig is big.
I know a friend of mine got one, and it was supposed to be a pot belly, but of course she spoiled it, fed it too much, and it ended up to be he'd be a good eating size pig.
Wow.
But
Yeah, they
she
seem
was
pretty
gentle
big.
as a lamb. I mean, she was very sweet, you know. But and that's if they are recommending somebody to come in and house sit for the pig, he's probably one of the that's very gentle. It's a lot of the things with any animal, and I've had animals all my life and have worked with them in shelters and things, and I am a big person who adopt from shelters. A lot of the animals are bad owners, and it makes bad pets and
Right.
bad animals in
100%.
any breed. People think that and I do agree that certain breeds they're more aggressive, but it's what they were bred to be. You know,
Right.
some dogs are bred for hunting and things like that, and then you take a bad owner and it turns a very strong dog into a bad pet.
Sure. It's a
I can
training
take
issue.
I can take a mutt, just a pure mutt, and make him very mean if I'm not a good owner.
Right. Yeah, that's what when I got Denali, who is a don't shame me, but he is a full breed Rottweiler.
I love
And
them.
yeah, I love him too. My son and I, we drove up to Dawson Springs, Kentucky to get him in April of 21. And he's been with us ever since. And my son, I was told him, I said, we got to make sure that he has good manners because it's cute when he's 13. When I got him, he was 13 pounds, 2 months, 8 weeks. We got him at 8 weeks. He was 13 pounds when he had his first visit to the vet. And I said, it's cute now, but when he's 100 and something pounds, he can do a lot of damage. So we
Yes.
want to make sure the jumping and, he still pulls on the leash sometimes. The heel walk is not always what it should be. But, for the most part, he's got good manners. And
My
that's
my my
important.
one of my best friends, she's a dog trainer. So if you ever want somebody to talk to,
Oh,
I'll turn you on to Christy. Yeah, she's a private nurse,
okay.
but if she does like a couple 24-hour shifts, which she was, but she's we used to have, our airport used to be called Stapleton International,
Okay.
and one of her clients was the guy's wife, Kitty Stapleton, but she passed away last year. I think it was last year or the year before. But that's the kind, the people that can pay that expensive to hire a private nurse. But yeah, she loves animals too.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Kimberly. She sent in a cash app. I appreciate that donation. Also, Lakeisha, thank you so much, Lakeisha, for your donation to the platform. Like I said, guys, support is a verb. We up here and we give some good conversation and we give some good best practices and things like that. And like I'm just asking for taps to help push this out to the For You page because that's how we grow. That's how we continue to grow the platform. Also, with the sharing, if you like what you're hearing, please share it to some friends so that they know what we're doing over here. Also, you can gift me. I do have a gift goal up there of the teddy bears. If you make your way to take care of that, to smash that goal. Also, gift the panel because they're giving up great information on the panel as well. And it sounds like a lot, but listen, some things, as I continue to say, support is a verb. That's how we're trying to grow, how we're going to have conversations between people of different ilks, political ilks, ethnicity ilks, but everybody over here will have an opportunity to say what they need to say. I will not let people be disrespected on my platform. I will not let people overtalk people, especially me. And I get a lot of flack for that. But, when I got a thought, I need to get it out. And I will let you finish, but I need to have answer to a particular question. So I definitely appreciate all the support that people have given the platform. And we've grown. This is our 7th week of full-time consistent shows. We've only been doing this 7 weeks. and we're getting better each and every day behind the scenes. Also, myself as the host of the platform, I'm getting better. I do things way differently, or I'm getting better at doing things. I try to be better today than I was yesterday, and we want to have some different topics. We want the platform to grow, because I always tell my son, if a tree doesn't grow, it dies. So we need to grow, and that's what we're doing. And we'll see that this Thursday, as we're going to have Elijah G up on the platform. Elijah G, we talked to him last week. Young guy. He spent 37 years in incarcerated for unaliving. He got convicted of second degree unaliving, and he went to prison at the age of 17, and he's been out now. I think it's 56 days he's been out, and he's navigating. He's trying to. Can you imagine going to prison at 1987? You think about all the things in 1987. I was 10, so I was 13 years old, and all the different things. Like, he was put in a time capsule, and now you drop him in 2024, March, April of 2024, and all the different changes. So we're going to talk to him about what happened that fateful day. Also, go ahead. Did somebody want to say something?
Oh, I was going to ask what time is he get? Because I got to work Thursday night, but I would love to listen to him because I worked as a correctional officer in a level 2 all male prison.
Okay.
And I've seen people who have served a long time like that, and they are so afraid. They wanting to leave and start their life, but they're so afraid because of so many changes. And in some cases, and one in particular I have in mind that, I know of, he didn't have any family anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And, you got to have a residence,
Right.
you just can't just be put out. Not where I'm, not in South Carolina at that particular prison. I'm only speaking for what I've, had dealings with. But they got him up like a halfway house, I guess that's what you'd call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just petrified. He was excited to leave, but petrified of trying to start a new life when so many things had changed. And he had served 30 something years.
Right. Yeah, he's been in it 37 years, and like I said, I think the count now is 59 days that he's been out, and we're gonna have a. Oh well, to answer your question, Miss Sparrow, he's gonna be up here at 10. I think we're gonna go about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're gonna have a conversation, and then I'll open it up for questions, respectfully, of course, because the last time he was up here, we had some challenges with people blurting out and not letting him say what he needed to say. He has a perspective. He's been behind the walls. He knows how the sausage is made, and he has some things for Trump and Obama. If you heard the conversation the last time, so we're gonna have a good conversation. This will be the first of many one-on-one interviews, because that's what we want to do over here. We're trying to bring different things, not just a platform of us who have opinions on certain things, but we have our expertise in certain things as well. But we want to talk to people who are helping or have helped with making the sausage. And go right ahead.
Did you, I know one of the times it's been recent, I can't remember what exact day, you said you were going to interview or try to interview Fonnie Willis. Did you get down there to
Yes.
do that?
I went. You're funny. You're funny. We're going back on location with Fawny. I just got my new gimbal, which is a tracker. So when I'm out, if you guys can see it, maybe you can't, but it's a gimbal and it tracks me. So I can. It's like a handheld kind of selfie stick kind of thing. So we can go on location, and we are still trying. We're still waiting to hear back from Fawny, but we're probably gonna get down there next week and try to see if we can get her getting out of her car or something like that to get a quote from her. That's what we're trying to do. We're working on right now on Mr. G. You're funny, Sparrow. Mr. G. He's going to be up here, like I said, on Thursday. Birdie Dog, what you say, buddy? And now we got my man down in H-Town. My main man, Dark Vader. He's always got that Darth Vader mask. I think Darth Vader is a personal friend of his. Duke, what's happening, buddy?
Yeah, my nickname is Duke. That's my family nickname, and
Okay.
I just put Duke Vader with it instead of the Darth. That's what I
Right.
try to be
I,
cute.
I heard your
Uh,
name was ringing out in these TikTok streets, sir.
oh, it's been out there before. Uh, for a while, so they know that
Right.
I'm on my way back. Um,
I
so
guess they
what are y'all
see you
talking about
coming.
this?
I guess
Yeah,
they see you coming.
they see the Death Star coming, so
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
you
Yesterday
know.
I had the conversation about domestic violence, and we did it this morning. And, I've noticed that my name also is ringing out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's
No,
not a bad
I'm
thing.
not upset. It is what it
What,
is.
what's with this gentleman you got in the background? I seen you had him up there earlier. He was one of the guys who was freed by Trump.
Listen, he did 37 years. He got incarcerated at the age of 17 for second degree unaliving.
Yeah.
And he's been out now, I think it's 59 days, something like that. And we're going to do our first one-on-one interview this Thursday coming up at 10 o'clock. And we're going to go through, as much as we can from, a little bit of his childhood and that fateful day, how that happened, what happened the first day, first week, first 10 years. And he also has some opinions on Obama and Trump as far as prison reform is concerned. So we're gonna cover it all. Our very first, what are you eating? Potato chips or something? What is that noise? Um,
It's some potato chips. I'm just crackling some.
it's
I get, I,
our first one-on-one interview. So we're gonna have that this Thursday at 10 a.m. with Malijah G.
what state was he incarcerated in?
Michigan.
Okay, so he did his whole time.
No. Well, he got, if I'm not mistaken, still doing my research, life with the possibility of parole. So he's on parole now, and he'll be on parole for the next year.
He got life with the possibility of parole, without the possibility of parole, and he got parole for just
No, I
one
think
more
he
year.
no, with the possibility of parole. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
so yeah, life is only 40 years.
Right.
So he's out, and he's been out 37 years, and he only got a couple more years on parole. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said 1 year, so we'll get into it as far as the intricate details of it on Thursday. Talk about his family. Talk about how it happened. What happened behind the scenes. What he thinks about the other family. I think I have a duty to bring that up, so we don't want to forget that person. So we're going to get into it, and I'm getting questions from the audience that they have certain questions for him that they want to hear, and I'm sifting through those questions and things like that. Anybody who's out there right now who is seeing that backdrop and they have some particular questions for a man who was incarcerated for 37 years, 1987 until 2024. Come on and we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. After my stint with law enforcement in 1991, I was incarcerated in the state of Texas for 15 years. So
Wait, say that one more time.
I said after my stint in law enforcement, I got into some nefarious
Oh wow.
situations, and I was incarcerated myself for 15 years here in the state of Texas.
Wow.
My wife is still on parole for she's got 7 more years on a 35-year sentence.
Okay, Duke. Wow. The many layers of Duke Vader. I never would have thought you said that. Wow.
I
Would you
don't
like
I don't
would you like to share some
I,
more about that?
I disclosed it in my live when I used to go
Okay.
live, but I don't really get into it too much because
Okay.
then people want to start going into, okay, well, what was you there for? What happened and all
Right.
this. So I just leave it where it's on a need to know basis.
Gotcha. No problem. I didn't I'm shocked right now that listen, I'll be honest. I heard that, and I was like, well, I mean, I don't have anything to do with me. If that is the case, I assume that the man serves his debt to society, and that's it. I'm dealing with Duke based on what I know of him and our interaction. None of that other stuff really matters to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, being incarcerated, that's something you just don't put on your t-shirt and wear around. You
Right.
know, uh, because then people will start to look at you and interact with you with a different light.
Sure.
It just amazes. It just amazes. Um,
Well, it's human
uh,
nature.
yeah, it is human nature, but sometimes
People want to build us up and then tear us down, and then build us up back up again. So,
especially when you have try to get places to stay and employment and stuff like that.
mhm.
It just amazes you how people look at you,
Right.
including your family members. But hey, it is what it is. I did what I did. I paid for what I paid for, and here I am.
Right. And I'm sure you have a very unique perspective considering you've been on both sides. You've been a veteran, military, you were a Leo and law enforcement officer, and then you were an inmate. So you got you have a perspective all the way around on both sides.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because there was some people that I put in prison. Then I ended up meeting them in prison, and they was like, "Hey,
Right.
hey, this
So
guy's a cop."
that must have been very, very
So
challenging.
I've been to minimum custody, maximum security, ag seg, super seg. I've been to I've been to a lot of places.
Wow.
So and here in Texas, let me tell you, woo, it's something else.
That's real jail.
Baby, hey, I've been where real unalivers have been,
Right.
real ones.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's some
especially
of them don't
maximum.
play.
Oh yeah, they don't play. I've seen people unalived in prison. I've seen guards, people, everybody unalived in prison. If you don't have a good hands game, and you don't know what hands is, you don't have a good hands game and a good mask. Then especially, and a lot of them, and they asked me, did I want to go to PC or protect and PC and what is the other one?
The shoe,
There's no, wait. There's PC and then there's dang, I can't think of the other one right now. They're not the same, but um, they asked me as a police officer because police officers go to pretty much PC. Okay, nobody in prison likes cops. Nobody. But I was so upset at the time. I was so angry. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna just go ahead on and ride this out." And I did, and the word got out, and I had to. It's about respect in there. And once you gain a little bit of respect, which or a name for yourself, then people pretty much just they want to just leave you alone.
right?
Everybody in prison is scared. I'm gonna let you know this right now. Don't let the movies think that everybody's running around there like they're not scared. Nobody wants to be unalive. But I got stories of my own. But if you want to know, I'll tell you. But other than that, I won't.
Well, I mean, you have a perspective that you used to put people away, and then now you were put away, incarcerated. I mean, what is that first week like?
Um,
Doors closed behind you, and now you're sit in your cell or whatever. And I'm sure you probably, as a
the
Leo, you tell me if I'm right, that you're probably on a certain watch because
the
of
the,
the
the
magnitude of
first
everything.
the first week is that it is you're Alice in Wonderland.
Hmm.
It being in prison. I'm talking about prison, not jail.
Right.
Being in prison is a totally different planet. A totally different planet. You've got to learn what not to do, what to do. Little things that you would think that's ridiculous is a big thing in there. as far as where you sitting, what gangs are running with who are you running with, what when it's time to eat, certain things like you can't just look in a person's face. People be like, "Hey man, who are you staring at?"
Right.
Real quick, you know. It's man, it takes. If you got the questions, I'll answer to you. But getting off that, and we have it here. We call it the chain bus. Everybody's
Okay.
on chain. Everybody's on chain. You're handcuffed, hand and foot. You're wearing all white. You get off that bus with your little bit of whatever it is that you accumulate in the jail,
Mm-hmm.
and you get there and you get to the back gate, and they take everything off you. Make you strip, and there's guys watching. That guys and women watching. Hey, and you got to, right then from there, you cannot seem weak. If you are weak at any point of the situation, you're done. You're
Mm.
done. You are done. You are done. I don't care if, hey, the one advice I used to give to guys first coming in is that if somebody's picking on you, find the biggest guy there is. The biggest guy, the guy who's got, I wish a whatever wood tattoo across his forehead, and go over there and
And
just
smack
slap
him.
him.
Hmm.
Just slap him. You're gonna lose the fight. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna get
Right.
beat down. But
Mm-hmm.
nobody in prison wants to be slapped. They're gonna be like, man, did you see that guy get beat down? Yeah, but did you see him slap the taste out of his mouth? He slapped him like a
Mm.
bitch.
Right.
Nobody wants to be disrespected, slapped. And then they go, your name's gonna be that slapper. Who is that? That slapper right there, man. Don't mess with him. He crazy. He just slapped you.
Nothing else matters except the fact that you slapped the biggest guy in the yard.
Nothing else matters. Somebody, hey man, I'm gonna go over there and take that guy a cookie. Hey, watch out, man. He slapped people. Really? You do? Yeah, man. You don't, because if you win the fight, hey man, I won. Yeah, but you got bitc slaps. And not
Wow.
your disrespect. Not you're disrespected. Not everybody feels they can slap you. So that's how the game goes.
Right.
It's about disrespect. Sorry to be long
Right.
winded.
You want to respect, and I'm sure just the simple little thing, like you said, not staring at somebody, and you better be ready to throw down at any moment. You got to be prepared for that.
You can't let nobody walk behind you. Whole lot of stuff, man.
And you're learning this trial and error, or do you already have some knowledge being a former law enforcement officer?
Oh man, when you go in prison, it's trial and error. I
Okay.
had a cellie. I had a cellie, and that's what we call them cellies.
Right.
I had a cellie, and he was a white guy, and he had we're in there during the summertime. You walk around in your boxers, and he had a whole picture of Adolf, who, on his chest,
Okay.
and
Wow.
he had swastikas on his neck, lightning bolts. I'm like, he got white pride written across his stuff. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
coolest guy I ever met. Coolest
Wow.
guy, man. He told me. He said, "Look, inside this cell, me and you, we got to look out for each other.
Mm.
Make sure the cell door is shut because people gonna run in, and anybody running in on us, we got each other's back. But out
Right.
there in the day room, bro, don't speak to me, don't talk to me, don't wave at me. I don't know you. My
Mm.
boys are watching me. Okay, I can't be friends with you." I said, "Cool. That's cool. That's how we work. That's how we rock." You know.
A lot of where I work, a lot of them they'll align themselves with certain organizations for protection, especially the little dudes. They like to try to find protection somewhere.
Yep. That's the main thing. And the worst ones is black people. Black people always want me to ride with them. Hey man, you gonna ride with us? No, I'm not riding with y'all. I'm riding by myself. Okay, when it goes down, don't come looking for help, man. Get away from me, dog. Before I take your teeth out of your mouth. You got.
What I'm saying, the Adolf guy, he's riding with his people. What was going on with that? What was the strategy behind that?
Well, what you talking about with me or with the Adolf guy?
No, I mean with you. He's saying, hey, out this cell, I don't like you, even if I like you in here. Do you have to associate yourself with your ethnicity, or are you riding alone? What's the strategy behind that?
You gotta make a decision. You gonna ride alone or you gonna ride with somebody? Ride with somebody's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you, bro. You
Okay.
know, if your mom, if say your mama sent $100 to you for commissary,
Yeah.
all right, and you go down there and you spend $75 on commissary,
Right.
45 goes for protection. You ride with the boys. The boys gonna expect you to come. Hey man, you rocking with us? That's 45 of that is ours. You know,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
We
That's a
rock
good
it
way.
together. We rock it together. We all together. We all in on each other. You're not just you. But if you, then you get it. You come back with 75. You got to protect your 75. You understand how they go?
Right. I'm saying, is that difficult if you're going to be a freelance and be out on the island by yourself, or is it better to associate yourself with a group?
It depends on the individual. If you're a scary individual, if you're worried about getting hurt or going down, and they can convince you, it's good for you. For me, I don't want to owe nobody nothing. That's why
Okay.
a lot of people turn to. Let me see if I can be TikTok friendly. A lot of black guys turn to the Quran.
Okay. Muslim, Islam, got it. Big
That's
protectionist.
that's a protection. It's not what they believe in. It's a protection because
Right.
that's one of the largest. That's one of the largest. I'm gonna say gangs in prisons. No matter what state you go to, the Muslim Brotherhood is large in prisons.
Mm,
So that's that. I mean, they stay to themselves. They do their own thing. They eat what they want to eat, pretty much, especially during Ramadan.
right.
You know, they get to move out. Instead of doing certain things, they can stand off and pray. They get certain rugs and protections and go to Talim and all that stuff. Because as a Christian, I used to go over there and chop it up with them at Talim because they had a lot of questions. And I used to go, tell them, hey, your religion is full of, you know.
Right. So yeah. So you got to make a decision. What's in your best interest as you take the lay of the land? How can you survive however long you're going to be? And some people choose to be associated, and you chose to be out on the island by yourself.
Yeah, if you say you got a large sentence, say this guy had life, or you say you're facing 20, 30 years, 40 years, you got to, first you got to do the math. How old are you? Are you going to be able to make it?
Mm,
You know, number two, what kind of crime you got? Because it changes. The lawyer tells you one thing, but once court is over, you're the property of the state. It's
right.
different. So if you got a crime like what this guy had, and then you got to do half that sentence. Okay, so you're 35. You got a 35-year sentence. You got to do half of that. Half of 35 years. Okay, so you gotta survive until then. It's about survivability, day by day. You can't look at the calendar. You see all these prisons move where the guy got the calendar on the wall. That's no. You got to go just day by day, minute by minute.
Right.
Find you one person to ride with. When I mean ride with, you and him, y'all got something in common. Y'all could talk. You got each other's back, and y'all go to rec together. Y'all go to church together. Y'all chill. Y'all go to. Y'all look out for each other. That gets you through. Now, 9 times out of 10, he gets moved or he goes home or whatever. First thing first. Do not tell anybody your actual name or your actual crime or where you're from. Do not say, stay to yourself. It's none of your business. Stay out of other folks' business.
Right.
You get in other folks' business, your teeth will be laying on the ground.
Mm, right. Don't ask no questions.
No, don't questions. A lot of people will ask you, hey man, what you in here for? I'm in here for staying out of your business, staying out of my business, and trying to stay out of yours, bro. Stay out of my business.
I thought when you go, they ask to see your paperwork to make sure you're not a pedo or things like that. Is that not accurate?
That went away in the '70s, bro.
Oh, okay.
There's no such thing as people looking at your paperwork. There's no inmates working the administration. Okay, all that's ran by guards. Now, by diagnostics, and usually there's one place that does diagnostics. If you give out any of that information about any inmate anywhere in any prison in America, you will be finding yourself in that same institution. That's a
Mm.
felony.
Oh, is it to
That's a
share
felony.
inmate information?
Huh?
It's a felony for a guard or administration to share inmate information.
Oh yeah. That's a felony. You know.
Mm.
I had a guard look up my information one time. She liked me, and then she looked up my information. She said, "Oh, I didn't know you was like that." I'm like, "God damn, what you think I'm here for? You know, what you
Mm.
think I'm in here for?" I ain't know you was a police officer. And then she just loud talking. I'm like, "Oh, you just dry snitching, huh? You just loud talking like me like that?" I said, she said, "I don't give a damn. You can go tell the officer." If I would have told it, she would have lost her job. She would have got locked up. But I
Right.
liked her. She was cool. I said, "Okay, we just decided not to mess with each other no more, all right? No, you go your way, I go mine."
Mm.
But no,
Now,
there's no that now. People can call home and do their research, and that's a lot of stuff to do, you know. But that's why you don't give your actual name. What you people you say, "Hey, what you go by?" "I'm H Town," you know. "I'm H Town," or "I'm Bun Town," or I'm D Town," you know. Since we in Texas, you know, or I'm Hustle Man, you know, something like that, you know. That's what they do.
Okay. Wow. Look at
now,
Duke.
where I worked, they had to wear badges with their names on them.
The inmates.
Yes,
Mm.
they did. And of course, it's like anything else. They had cell phones, and they would, if they wanted to know something, they'd look them up.
They had cell phones that were out in the open.
No, every time it was rarely a room that we didn't shake down, that we didn't find cell phones, shanks, wine. They, I mean, one little fella, he had him a whole little steal going on. I mean, they are very creative. There's some
And
people
the
in there.
cell phones are getting in from prison guards. Yes.
That, and we had an issue. The one I worked at, one side of it had a lot of woods, and they were shooting them. You know those things they shoot T-shirts out of when
Yes.
they're at concerts and things. They were shooting
Hmm.
stuff across the fence, and it was landing in horticulture. And the people that worked in the horticulture was bringing it in. But now they did have guards that were bringing in contraband. It was cell phones, drugs. I mean, yeah, I can only say for what happened with where I work, but you could get anything you wanted, just like you on the street.
They say also now, I've talked to some wardens in my personal life, and they say drones are a big problem.
That I don't doubt that.
They're
I don't
flying the
doubt it.
drones close to some part of the
Yeah,
yard.
yeah. They got a problem now with drone. Right now in the state of Texas, Texas is actually called TDC. That's Texas Department of Corrections.
Hmm.
Uh, no, yeah, criminal. It's TDCJ, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. That's what it is. There's no more corrections. And yeah, I still have my ID, you know, because I was thinking about going back into prisons and preaching and stuff like that. But I still have mine. I just want to show them, look, I used to be one of y'all. And yeah, we have our IDs. Of course, we don't show everybody, just show to the guard. You know, that's what count when they come for count time. That you know, you got to count, and they count every 2 hours.
Throughout the
They
day,
have
they count every 2 hours.
Hmm.
every 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Whether you sleep or woke, every 2 hours. Got to wake up,
Stand and count.
come to the door, show your ID. They turn the light on every two
So
hours.
2 a.m. and then 4 a.m. then 6 a.m.
It's hold on just a second. It's not the Texas Department of Corrections. They said they are not trying to correct anybody. It's Texas Department of Criminal Justice. They
They're
changed the
not trying to
name.
correct
They
anybody.
No, they're not trying to correct or rehabilitate anybody. It's Texas Department of Criminal Justice. That's the TDCJ. Excuse me. And so, uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you got to come to the door or wherever you're at, and show your ID every 2 hours, or unless it's a special count. Unless it's a special count where they think somebody um, may have escaped or something like that. Then they'll do a special count. Somebody jogging past the prison with an all white on, they'll stop. Special count, special count. Stay right where you are, wherever you are, in the shower, wherever you at. Special count.
Wow. Look at Duke, the many faces of Duke. Wow. I'm absolutely amazed by that. 100%.
I don't tell everybody everything, man. I got many hats.
I know that, but
At 60 years old, I got many hats, bro. Many
right.
hats. So, I mean, hey, I just I let people know, hey, man, look here, I done been there, bro. I currently visiting somebody who's in Harris County Jail. And I told her, get it straight because you do not want to go where I have been.
Mm.
Right now, they're passing out tablets inside of prisons. They
Tablets?
pass out tablets. Yes, they pass out tablets to all inmates inside of prisons now. That's because what they're doing, they're cutting out the face-to-face
FaceTime.
visitation,
You don't have to have the visitation.
visitations.
All right.
That's you fight so much over the TV. The TV can get you unalived.
Oh my
My
goodness.
goodness, I'm telling you, somebody changed the channel while I was watching TV. I pulled the whole TV down.
Wow.
Nobody's watching TV. Nobody's watching TV. You gonna disrespect me like that? So what they're doing is, riots and everything start over the TV. The TV is called a one-eyed monster. Believe me.
Let me ask you
Boy,
a
don't
question.
let.
Because I
Go
talk to
ahead.
some warriors out in my personal life, right? And I'm thinking, I'm just a guy. I don't know anything. But would it be an incentive for inmates to have conjugal visits? Would that cut down on violence in the prison system if they know that if they're on their best behavior, that at the end of the week or twice a month or whatever, that they could get some punane from their girlfriend or something like that? Would that cut down on prison violence?
That should.
They
Let
stopped
me
that.
Hang on,
let me
let's
tell
hear
you.
from Duke. Let's hear from Duke.
Let me educate y'all on something.
Please
Okay.
do.
It would be nice to be able to get back to your girlfriend or whatever. Uh,
Right?
I'm gonna try not to be long-winded with this. If you got a woman and she decides to stick by you
Right?
with 35 years, wife, good. You'd be nice. But to cut down on violence, nope.
No.
No, sir. I told you, it's a different world inside of prison. Small things or huge things inside of prison. I'm trying to, my goodness. I'm gonna try to tell you one story. I'm gonna try to be short by it. I'm gonna show you how small things are.
Okay.
I was upstairs, and they was calling for chow all the way out. That's what they were saying, chow all the way out. So we were stuck inside of our cells. The guard was supposed to roll the doors first before he called chow. He's supposed to say get ready for chow so that we could all be in the day room. Well, he didn't. So he just come chow all the way out. So everybody starts running out, and I'm trying to get out the door along with me and about 50 other people. I watched this guy as he brought a pack of cookies down to the table. Now, I said, I know that guy. When he opens up his cookies, I'm going to roll out with him. Well, they roll the doors. We both go out. When he put the cookies, there was a guy, he was feminine, okay, sitting at the table.
Right?
All right. So we go to chow. I'm eating. I'm watching him. He gets up. I get up. He's going back. I'm like, I'm going back. I'm going to get me some of those cookies. So we go back. He goes back to the table. The guy that's feminine is still sitting there, but his cookies are gone. So he asked the guy, "Hey, where's my cookie?" He said, "I don't know where your cookies is. I don't know. I ain't see no cookies." So I'm like, "Okay." So he said, "No, man." So he asked his homeboy. He said, "Hey, what? Hey, you see my cookies?" He said, "No." He said, "Man, I put my cookies here. The PUNK is here, but my cookies is gone." He said, "Yeah, he likes stealing soap." He said, "He do? Yeah, he likes stealing." So he went back over there. He said, "Hey, man, I know you took my cookies. Where my cookies?" He said, "I don't know where your cookies is. I ain't see no cookies." So he slapped him. He slapped him. So I'm like, "Damn, okay." He said, "Man, you go find my cookies, man." Just so happened his homeboy come in and say, "Man, what's going on?" So the PUNK was crying. He said, "What's going on?" He said, "Man, that dude took my cookies." He said, "No." He said, "No, he didn't take your cookies. I got your cookies in the cell, bro. You left your cookies on the table, so I slid them under the door until you come back."
Right.
He said, "Oh, for real?" He said, "Yeah, man, under the door, man. I got your cookies." Just so happened, his boyfriend, who was in medium custody, heard about it.
Uh-oh.
He fell out of place. See, they got armbands, red, green, yellow, blue, for whatever dorm you in. He fell out of place, and falling out of place means you're not supposed to be in that dorm.
Right.
He fell out of place and found the dude. Say, "Yo, big dude, yo, who slapped mines?"
Oh.
And he was like, "Yo, man, yo, check it out, man. It was a misunderstanding. Here go a bag of coffee and some cookies." He said, "Nah, it ain't about the bag of cookies. It's about slapping mines. You slapping mines, you slap me. So you want to slap me, bro?" It's just like that. It's small things. A pack of cookies.
Right.
Damn near got his whole head taken off, and he fell out of place. And hey, they had to bring the goon squad in to separate. I mean, if you don't know what the goon squad is, that's the guys that suit up in knee pads,
CRT. That's the CRT guy.
shield, yeah, CRT, yeah, CRT. They in full suit, okay, and everybody's got to rack up and they got to gas the whole place and separate this guy. And he damn near. He damn near lost his life over a pack of cookies. Hey,
Wow.
I gotta go back to work. I gotta go back to work.
Hey, hey, listen, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you sharing that.
Hey man, I gotta go. It's funny now. It was funny then, but I gotta go. See y'all later.
All right, take care. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing your
Yeah.
experience, sir. All right, look at Duke. Listen, people have opinions about Duke. We get a lot of different layers. I love that people come on the platform and they feel comfortable with the platform that I'm building. Um, that means a lot to me because Duke and I have had our verbal jousting, and Duke is who Duke is, and I respect Duke for what he is and who he is. When I learned a little something new about Duke, same way I learned a little something about Sean, about how him and Miss Angie met, and I learned something about Carolyn that she unfortunately had to bury her daughter, and she's raising her grandchildren. Sparrow, her sharing about her domestic DV situation, and our new friend Lakeisha sharing about her thing with the water on the floor and her ex flipping out over that. These stories mean a lot to me, and this is the platform that we're building, and I want to help continue to build. And the people behind us, the moderators, Natty Shay, Dr. Shay, Mia, One Live Mike, MCM001.
Did I say one thing before I got to go because I got to walk
Sure,
my
go right ahead.
I got to walk my dogs.
Mhm.
But I just want to know, I did go through all that, but God sent me a wonderful man,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I have a husband that is just treats me like I'm the only one in the world, and
Right.
I thank God for him every day. In fact, I had somebody that wanted to get, well, how it is at work sometimes, and he was new and he was trying to talk to me. I said, "Listen, you can't even talk to me." I said, "My husband," I said, "I promise you no amount of money, there's nothing you can do that would ever cause me to step out on the man I have. I know he is a gift from God.
Wow.
You
Say
need
it
to find
again.
somebody else." I
Say it
shut
again that you got
down.
a man you value, you respect, and you want to make
I
sure
would
you are
do
taking care of him. Say it with your chest, Miss
I
Sparrow.
would do whatever I could, like I mean, I fix his plate, not that he
Hmm.
expects me to, but
Mm-hmm.
it's because I appreciate who I have. And
Right.
I know we were talking one time in a live, and it might have been yours, about being submissive to your husband. If
Mm-hmm.
you love your man like you should, he won't have to demand it of you, and you don't have to do it, but you will want to,
Right.
or at least I do. And
Right.
I do it because I know this man would give me his last dollar and his shirt off his
Mm.
back.
And
I know he
you
would.
value him, you respect him, and you want to
And
make sure he's taken
that's
care of.
right. I would give him my last dollar because I know who I am married to and the
Right.
man I have. And I know without a doubt he is God sent. But I got to go because I got to walk
Wow.
my babies because we all trying to lose weight. They don't want to, but they are.
Thank you for saying that. I think that when you do find that guy or that girl who you value, because I think when you value something, you want to take care of it, you want to protect it, you want to nurture it. And when we find people like that that come into our lives and we decide to try to build with them, you have to value your partner. And I'm sure Miss Lakeisha, you going through the situation you went through, and you said you've been married 22 years. Is that correct, Miss Lakeisha?
Well, let me scoot, y'all.
All right, Sparrow. See you next time. Okay, don't be a
All right.
stranger.
All righty.
Yeah, so that's what we're building over here. I want to appreciate everybody who has come up to the live, who has had some stories to say. Let's see if Dr. Shay wants to come up and say something before we get out of here. 22 years, absolutely.
Hello. Hi.
Dr. Shay, what's going on? What say you? What's happening? How you been? How is H Town? Did you hear Duke?
No, I didn't hear Duke.
Oh wow. Okay, Duke was putting on the clinic over here.
What
We
happened?
found another side of Duke.
What happened?
He was sharing about that he was incarcerated for 15 years.
Duke?
Yes, Duke Vader, our Duke, not our Duke, but Duke down in
That's a,
H Town. He was
that's a,
incarcerated for 15 years, and he was sharing some stories.
wow. Military to,
Military, law enforcement officer, and then he said he did 15 years.
and he was a bus driver. The what else he did? He did. Duke got a million hats, right?
He had the many faces of Duke Vader down in H Town. So I think I was just telling the folks how that's what we're building over here. You are a part of it, of course. You're special. You're very special to me. But we hear and people are sharing their stories. Carol Ann sharing her story. Sean has his story. A new friend, Lakeisha. She was unfortunately a victim of DV, and she got out of it, and now she's been married for the last 22 years. Miss Sparrow, who just left, she said God sent her her man, and she said she proudly fixes his plate, proudly, because she want to make sure he's nourished and got his food and he's ready to go. And she said, I will never, ever, ever get my man some Little Caesars. She said, I'll make sure he gets a good plate, not no Little Caesars.
So, okay. Well, good. I am happy and I appreciate that.
They were giving stories and sharing. I'm just saying what we're building, people feeling comfortable to share their stories with us and feeling like they're not going to be shut down or they're not going to be judged or their experiences are going to be dismissed. And that's what we're building. As I was telling the folks how important it is to tap, tap, tap the screen. That's free. Also sharing the live, that's free. Support is a verb, and it doesn't always have to be financial support. It can also be putting some things to action, following our YouTube channel because I've been putting clips up on the YouTube channel, and also I put the first episode from yesterday up, the full episode on the YouTube channel. So those are the things that we're doing. Those are the things that we're building because we want to have the most inclusive space here on TikTok. As we talk about, this is our 7th week of full-time consistent shows. And this Thursday, do a little promo. This Thursday, Mr. Elijah G will be here, and we're going to virtually sit down and have a conversation about spending 37 years incarcerated for a second degree unaliving. So this is what we're building. This is what this platform is about. And I tell the team to have blinders on like a thoroughbred and keep on going towards our prize. Dr. Shay?
Well, what happened when it's just no longer there? Like the thrill is gone, like the
What?
no longer there. What do you
What
do?
thrill?
Just the thrill. Carol Ann says she will not, she would do everything for that guy. And I know people in that situation where they would do everything for that person, but the thrill is gone. So what do you do?
You lost me. I'm sorry. Was I not paying
Didn't
attention?
didn't Carol Ann just talk about her relationship? She would do everything she possibly
It
can
was
for that
Sparrow.
guy. Oh, that was Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Okay.
Because she shared
Yeah.
a episode of domestic DV and how he had 10 years, he did 4, and then he got out and did the same thing again. And he was just sentenced to 30 years this year. 50 something years old.
Oh, and so this
Sentenced
is,
to
oh,
30
my
years.
bad. I got it wrong. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Right.
Mm.
So Miss Sparrow.
I'm not like, I'm not a pro in this one, because always, I don't understand because sometimes people see the signs, some people witness and they still, um, involve themselves. So I don't know. I'm not a pro in
No,
this one.
well, right. Well, I was more talking about what we're building over here, the most inclusive space where people feel free to share their experiences with us, because I think they feel like they will not be judged, they won't be dismissed,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel safe. I mean, Duke, I'm honored that he wanted to. Now, he said he had shared his stories on his own live. I don't know if he did it on other lives, but Duke has a hard exterior, and he was able to share that, and I feel honored that he felt that he could share it with us.
T-shirt.
Dr. Shay with that phone, I tell you, she's always got something going on.
Will Duke be here on Thursday, right?
I assume he will be. I mean, we'll be here with Melija G at 10 a.m. And we're going to sit down and, well, virtually sit down. I keep saying sit down, but virtually sit down uh, with him. And I've been telling people to go ahead and follow me on the YouTube channel, because I put the first episode from yesterday up there, the full episode. And, where if they can see some clips and different things like that. You know what I mean? Dr. Shay, boy, I tell you. Anyway, that's what we got going
What you
on.
mean? And I had it on mute because someone was talking to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, but you challenged with those phones, so I didn't know what was going on.
I'm in a safe place right now. I'm not having challenges with my phone any longer.
Good. Did you get the new phone?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Are we talking on a new phone right now?
No, I haven't activated the new
Oh,
phone yet.
okay, great. All right, cool. So that's what we're talking about. Also, I'm going down to Fulton County, not this week, but next week, to try to see if I can get Fawny coming out of her car. See if she'll give us a quote. See if she'll come in like Melija G's coming in, and see if she wants to come in and talk about what's going on. I think our chances, I'll give us about a 7% chance that she'll do it. Maybe 8, but that's about all I'm giving it. But I'm gonna give it the old college try. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. Any questions from anybody on the platform? No questions. Okay, great. All right, so that's it. That's another episode of Mr. Denali XXL. Is somebody bringing somebody up? Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So, Dr. Shay, I'm going to get out of here. We did our 4 hours. Appreciate everybody who has come in and joined us. Appreciate everybody who has donated. Appreciate everybody who gifted, who also liked the live and everything like that. So listen, Carolyn, thank you so much for coming and sharing. You're always welcome. Take care of those babies. Take care of that granddaughter who is seeing some yellow flags, I guess. hopefully some advice that Miss Lakeisha was giving you can help navigate. Sometimes that can be a very difficult situation.
I'm definitely going to look for some counselor situations.
Fantastic. Let us know how that works out for you. Okay.
Okie doke. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too. Take care. I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.